midterm election year. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky says he is focused on the Venezuela attack and feels other Republicans should be as well. And he says of a war powers vote,
we're going to debate it on the floor tomorrow, and the vote will probably be on Thursday. I think it's one of the most important things that we do debate in Congress, and that is, when do we initiate war? Who has the power to initiate war?
On another note, President Trump has told House Republicans, quote, got a lot of oil to drill. A Department of Energy spokesman confirms a meeting with executives from Chevron, ConocoPhillips, and Exxon with Energy Secretary Chris Wright will take place in Miami on Wednesday. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
What energy companies really care about is stability, the rule of law, market forces, and long-term operational considerations. Those are the things that they consider before they make major investments, and those things just aren't present in Venezuela right now.
Wyoming State Supreme Court strikes down 2 laws, meaning abortion is still legal there. Our CBS's Allison Keyes.
In a 4-1 ruling, Wyoming State Supreme Court ruled the 2 laws barring abortion violate the state's constitution. One of the laws was the nation's first explicit ban on abortion pills. Wyoming has a constitutional amendment that says competent adults have the right to make their own health care decisions.
A Republican member of the House has died. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
Congressman Doug LaMalfa died during emergency surgery. President Trump ordered the flags flown at half-staff as a sign of mourning and respect for the late California lawmaker. LaMalfa's death further erodes the slim GOP majority in the House. Presently, there are 218 Republicans and 213 Democrats. This means the Republicans cannot lose more than 2 GOP votes in the House, assuming all members are present and voting, and still pass anything on a party line vote. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Wall Street is trading in record territory for the second straight day. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The commissioner of NASCAR announces his resignation.
Steve Phelps' days as commissioner appeared numbered after inflammatory texts of his were revealed during an antitrust trial brought by 2 race teams. In the texts, he called Hall of Fame team owner Richard Childress a stupid redneck who needs to be taken out back and flogged. Phelps apologized to Childress and tried to move beyond the controversy and the trial last month.
I'm trying my hardest, both a fan as well as the commissioner of this sport that I've loved since I was 5 years old.
Phelps will step down at the end of the month. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Pipeline safety regulators have imposed their largest fine ever on the company responsible for leaking over 1 million gallons of oil into the Gulf off the Louisiana coast in 2023. The $9.6 million fine is close to the total fines the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration usually issues each year. The agency says Third Coast failed to establish proper emergency procedures and did not adequately assess risks. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
KGUM-FM, Dedido, the talk of Guam. This is Wave 105.1 FM, a Glimpses media radio station. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show.
Guam, Hafuday. Welcome back to the Way 105.1. We have Mornings with Patti, hosted by Miss Melissa Savares. Thank you again for joining us. You're listening to KGUM FM, Barragata, Guam, the Way 105.1 FM. Pat's, we want to thank our beautiful sponsors, Pat's Tinting and Detailing. Call 647-SLAM, the Medical City, where patients are partners. Code 1 Law Enforcement Store. Take Care Insurance Company, Our Island, Your Health Plan. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots. Visit bankpacific.com today. GTA, we start with you, and Hyatt Regency Guam. We're going to take some local news, some local headlines with Mr. Skylar Obispo from the Marianas Business Journal.
Buenas and Hafuday. Here is the latest from the Marianas Business Journal. The Guam Memorial Hospital Authority announced continued progress on several facility improvement projects aimed at maintaining safe and functional conditions for patients, staff, and visitors. Work is ongoing on a roof and exterior revitalization project affecting areas such as the intensive care unit, pediatrics, and medical telemetry unit, with additional exterior work planned near the emergency department and surgical units. GMHA also confirmed progress on its parking expansion project after clearance from the Guam Environmental Protection Agency, allowing earthwork to begin. Upgrades to the hospital's cooling systems continue through phased installations of new chiller components. Inside the facility, environmental services teams have completed floor care and operating rooms in several ICU areas, with additional patient care units scheduled in the coming weeks. GMHA Interim CEO Jolene M. Uggin said the projects address aging infrastructure while supporting day-to-day care. Governor Lulian Guerrero emphasized the importance of maintaining the current hospital as long-term plans for a new facility move forward. In more news, the Guam Department of Education received a clean audit opinion on its fiscal year 2024 financial statements and on one major federal program, according to an audit released on January 2nd by Ernst & Young. However, auditors issued qualified opinions on several other federal programs, citing material weaknesses in compliance related to child nutrition, special education, and COVID-era education funds, along with about $1 million in questioned costs. Despite the findings, GDOE reported ending FY 2024 with a record $77 million fund surplus, driven by increased local appropriations and the transfer of certain local payroll costs to Federal American Rescue Plan funding. In a statement, GDOE acknowledged the audit's findings and said corrective actions are underway to strengthen internal controls, improve compliance, and work towards clean audit opinions across all federal grants. Reporting for the Marianas Business Journal, the Wave 105 and Power 98, I'm Skylar Obispo.
All right, everyone, that was your local news brought to you by Mr. Skylar Obispo from the Mariana's Business Journal. We just want to thank McDonald's for sponsoring this news segment. Take a well-deserved break. Have a delicious oven-baked strawberry and cream pie at McDonald's today. Goes great with McCafe iced coffee, only for a limited time. Only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. All right, good morning, Guam. Let's take a look at traffic. Brought to you by Guam Auto Spot. Schedule a test drive today at Guam Auto Spot by calling 478 Auto or view our inventory on our website at guamautospot.com. Guam Auto Spot, 478 Auto. Also brought to you by Mobile Oil Guam. Fuel your drive with Mobile's new Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel for your chance at Mobile Prepaid Gas Card or 75,000 United Mileage Plus miles. Visit Mobile stations for more details. Okay, go on, let's look at traffic. Moving along from Route 4 to Route 2 is looking clear. Also Route 17. We're running at 6 o'clock hour, so there's nothing to report heavy right now. I'm only seeing a little bit of a little bumper in Jigo. This is going towards the Anderson post. This is the entrance to Anderson. I'm only seeing a slight delay, but it doesn't. It's not crazy right now. But yeah, it's only 6 o'clock right now, Guam. So we'll keep you updated with traffic. But thank you again, Mobile Oil Guam and Guam Auto Spot.
Manana Sizuz, good morning. This is Mornings with Patti on the Wave 105.1 FM. I'm Melissa Savares filling in this week for Patti, who should be on her way back home soon after spending the holidays with her family. And so, this morning it is kind of wet out there. It didn't rain hard, but the light shower is going to cause some, the roads to be a little bit slick this morning. So please, just on your commute, be careful and, give some time ahead in front of you before, don't get too close to the car in front of you so that you can get to your destination safely. Children at the bus stops, walking to and from the bus stops or to school, let's make sure that we keep in mind to keep the children also safe as they make their way to the bus stops. Good morning, Yuli. How are you today?
I am great, thank you.
Yeah, so this we'll be talking about some outreaches that are going to be happening later in the show. I have a group of medical students who are part of the Telenamti, which are medical students in the States that are planned to come home. Of course, they want to come home and serve our community when they're done with all their education and their internship. And many of them also are doing specialties, respiratory specialties, pulmonary specialties, cardiology, and internal medicine. So we look forward to them coming in later on in the show to talk about a couple of outreaches that they have planned for the next few days, actually Saturday as well as I believe on Monday next week. But they're inviting the community to come out and do their screening. So we want, during their time here, they're making impact on health care and prevention. So, that's very important.
Yes.
to check your blood glucose, your blood pressure, just making sure that nutrition is also part of good health, right? And so we look for, and they're working with different clinics and medical facilities here to see how they can also incorporate internship when they're here during their breaks, and making a difference in healthcare throughout our island. It's at the beginning of the year. We continue to say people make resolutions, New Year's resolutions to lead a healthier lifestyle, and so it's also having a primary provider to check you regularly, to keep you out of the hospital for inpatient care unless it's really necessary, right? Some people don't go to the doctors regularly, and they wait until they need urgent care. Right? Yeah. So that costs money, right? It costs more money to go in for emergency care than it does for primary care. So whether or not you have insurance, there's many opportunities for insurance. And then there's so many clinics out there, especially pediatrics. I look around, and everywhere I turn, there's a pediatric clinic in a village or in an organization or a compound where medical providers are at. So we do have a good number of pediatricians who take care of our young children in our families, and it's really good. We also have primary care in many facilities, private clinics, as well as community health centers, and also nonprofit organizations that go out and provide medical care, primary care. Total Guam, they use their mobile clinic to go out and do assessments, do screenings, and help residents. And they actually have a provider that goes around with them. So if you need to do a physical, a lot of people need to do just like physicals, or just to get their maintenance medication. They haven't seen a provider, but they do have high blood pressure issues, hypertension. And so what they do is they go to the outreach when Todu Guam, the mobile clinic, is out there. And I know that on Saturdays they're usually at the Derrida Flea Market, where the Farmers Co-op is at. So take advantage of primary care. If you do not have a provider, take advantage of these outreaches. The Lions Club also participates in medical outreaches, and they partner with different organizations, different clinics as well. They partner with the Guam Community Health Centers, Seventh-day Adventist Clinic, Guam Radiology Clinics. So, they have a portable ultrasound machine that they take around with them when they're partners with Guam Radiology. So, it's all aspects of medical care that come out together to provide outreach for individuals who may need to have their screenings done.
Yeah, even GRMC, right?
GRMC does outreach at the Micronesia Mall, right?
I'm sure you can talk to them like, hey, I don't have insurance, but the doctor will say, what can I do to,
and they guide you, right? So then they also guide you to who the healthcare providers are for primary care. They'll tell you what clinics you can go to, or even if it's just to come to outreaches. GRMC usually does outreaches for because they have specialty clinics, right? And so that's what they do. They had a pulmonary outreach several weeks ago. And so, but GRMC particularly every Thursday at 10 in the morning, 10 a.m., they have, because their theme is where patients are partners, right? And so they actually every Thursday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, they have walk around inside the Micronesia Mall. So they meet and with a group of whoever wants to come walking with them, and a lot of people take advantage of that. They wait for, when the doors open at 10, they start at the center court and they walk. I believe it's an hour. So everybody just walks around the mall. And, I always say, if it's raining, go inside to the malls to walk, true. Right? Yeah. Because, you're indoors. You're not going to be faced with traffic. Mm-hmm. The rain is outside of the building right now. And dogs are not going to chase you. And, I remember I've seen a few people going into the walking at the mall, and you kind of wave, but they kind of wave back. They don't want to stop to have conversation, right? Concentration, right? Because they're concentrating on their steps. Yes. So and their walk. So and then at the Micronesia Mall at the center court, they also have Zumba.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Zumba, and even taekwondo, right? Or
taekwondo, yes, it's the taekwondo. Yeah. They have that. I believe it's 3 days a week. Wow. That they have that in the center court, and that's actually Master Noli Kaluag's group, taekwondo group. So that's a great way of using space. Mm-hmm. And then attracting, other individuals who want to partake in it, right? To get fit. Those are ways.
And I think that's an easy 10,000 steps around the mall.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and then you have to do 10,000 a day.
Yeah, and then if you want to walk the stairs, there's several stairways,
that's
right?
True, yeah.
That you can walk through. Even early in the morning. I remember, because Denny's and Payless are 24 hours, right? So when we go there, like early in the morning, coming from the airport, picking up passengers from the Philippines, right? The flights come in at 4:30. So, they want to eat breakfast before they go to their hotels. And so we take them to Denny's at the mall, and people already are starting to park, and they walk around the exterior part of the parking lot. Then they go up the ramps, in the parking lot ramps, yeah. And then they were telling, because several individuals, I had seen them as they were finishing up, and they said, and when we want to do stairs, the parking garages have stairways, right? Mm-hmm. That take you to the different levels as well. So they walk the stairs in certain areas. They go to the 2 parking garages and walk up and down. So if it's raining, they're still covered with the parking garage, right? Yes. And then do more laps. They do 1 full lap around the mall, the exterior, but the perimeter of the mall. But then they go into the parking garages and go up and down the ramps and then the stairways. Wow. So there's in Dedido we have the Guam Sports Complex, and that walking trail is always busy, especially in the mornings and in the late afternoons through evening hours. There's a lot of activity at the walking trails, not just in the sports complex, but in all of around the churches, the Dedido Mayor's office, there's that around the Iglesia Circle area. Many people, they do Zumba in the morning in the front porch, and then they go walking. But there's walking is free, right? And so that's part of the outreaches, is that they also promote a healthy lifestyle as far as exercise. Many insurances, and we continue to say this for those that are, have New Year's resolutions to live a healthier lifestyle, that many medical insurances actually provide a free gym membership as well. So, if you have a medical insurance that's provided by your employer, check out what gym facilities, gym memberships are available to you, so that you can also use these private gyms. There's bicycling as well. I was down in Tuman yesterday. Saw a lot of people on bikes. Not the electric bikes, but they and not the scooters either. They were actually on bicycles pedaling. So I said, that's nice because, Tumontu, they have some hills there, right? Yes. Going from like the PIC or the Crowns to the old Marriott, right? And towards the PIC. That's a hill that people go up, and even you don't realize it until you're actually when you're driving, you don't realize how steep it is. But once you're on foot or on bike, then you're going up that hill. They say it's steep, right? Yeah. So those are different things. But let's take advantage of primary care, the outreaches that we have. In Inalahan, they will be hosting the Inalahan Mayor's Office will actually be hosting a medical outreach hold on, I'm just pulling that up and then I'll send it to you. It's a medical outreach, it's a Inalahan Town Hall meeting, but it's actually a medical outreach, and their topics are medical health care updates, announcement of new initiatives for low-cost prescriptions, easier access to health care, to find the right provider for you, and then also community updates on engaging community discussions to build a safer and healthier community. So this is hosted by the Inalahan Mayor's Office, American Medical Clinic, and the Guam Diamonds Lions Club, as well as the accessible van transportation services. So, there again, you have the Lions Club that is also joining in this community outreach that will be at the Inalahan Mayor's Office next week, Monday, January 12th. So I'll send this to you, and then we can post it as well on our website. So but these type of things, even in the South, happen, and it's a great thing. So even in the southern villages, the walking trails that they have, many people over in Hoggett go to Nimitz Beach or even Ga'an Point, and they walk around. There's a beautiful sidewalk that surrounds the beach or within the beach, and with a playground, right? A beautiful big playground. So while children are playing, families are walking around the Nimitz Beach area. So those are in Humatak by the bay. That is also a nice walking trail. Malesu, people in Malesu walk around the pier area through the village, and then going up the hill to where the Mariso Martyrs Elementary School is at. Those are walking. Inalahan, the whole Inalahan village is a walking tour, so a walking trail around the village where Gefpotgu is at, throughout the inner part of the village. So all the villages have walking trails or recreational facilities where families can go and take part, in their exercise programs, or to keep healthy, to get those 10,000 steps per day, right? Yeah. When you walk in the morning, it's easier because it's cooler, it's not less traffic, the dogs are still sleeping, right? So even if you walk your kids to the bus stop, right, or to school, that's another thing. The school campuses, all the school campuses are really large, and you can walk through the hallways of those campuses. So I don't know if the school principals will allow, but when parents go there to pick up their kids, right? Yeah, that's a great place to just walk up and down throughout the hallways, because they're covered, and in most cases they're covered hallways, and unless you're transferring from one building to another, right? But even in their playground areas, those are great walking spaces. So to get your 10,000 steps in, to lead a healthier life, those are, options, right? And they're free when you go out to the community and just take advantage of the areas, the safe areas where they have for walking. So we're at the bottom of the hour, and I believe we're due for a break, and then we'll go ahead and come back after that. Okay?
All right.
Thank you.
We are Guam. Wave 105 FM.
Welcome the new year with bold flavors and island elegance. Discover the island's best seafood dinner buffet at the Terrace inside Crown Plaza Resort Guam. Now open 7 days a week. Enjoy lobster, crab, oysters, premium cut, and bottomless drinks. Expertly prepared by award-winning executive chef Leland Fang and his world-class culinary team. Dinner is served daily from 6 to 9 p.m. at $65 for adults and kids ages 4 to 11. Eat free for a limited time. Call 671-646-5880 or email reservations.cprguam@ihg.com.
More than radio. It's Guam's group chat, Wave 105. Join the conversation. Glimpses Media.
Pat's Tinting and Detailing offers premier services from complete interior cleaning and VIP detailing. And to keep you cool, Pat's also offers factory, ceramic, blacked out, and base-approved auto tinting. For more information, call 647-SLASH.
Burger King's double cheeseburger line is here. The Classic Double, Bacon Double, and Rodeo Double. The Classic features 2 flame-grilled beef topped with pickles, ketchup, mustard, and melty American cheese on a warm sesame seed bun. The Bacon has pickles, ketchup, mustard, melty American cheese, and crispy savory bacon. And the Rodeo, filled with melty American cheese, tangy barbecue sauce, and onion rings. Make it a meal with cheesy tots and a refreshing Coca-Cola. BK's new double cheeseburgers, available for a limited time only at BK. You rule.
All right, good morning, Guam. Let's take another look at local news. Brought to you featured by the Mariana's Business Journal, Mr. Skylar Obispo. This new segment is brought to you by McDonald's. Take a well-deserved break. Have a delicious oven-baked strawberry and cream pie at McDonald's today. Goes great with McCafe iced coffee, only for a limited time at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Buenas and Hafaday. Here is the latest from the Mariana's Business Journal. The Office of the Governor, in partnership with the University of Guam Sea Grant and Guam Green Growth, will host a free public workshop today to help residents submit comments on a federal deep-sea mining proposal affecting waters near Guam, the Marianas Trench, and the Sienna Mine. A workshop titled Our Ocean, Our Voice will run from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Guam Museum. Organizers say assistance will be available to explain the proposal and to help participants prepare comments ahead of the January 12 deadline. The proposal issued by the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management covers about 35.5 million acres of seafloor east of the Marianas Trench Marine National Monument. Officials say the workshop is intended to increase public participation on an issue with potential environmental, cultural, and regional impacts. A public hearing on Legislative Resolution 132, calling for a moratorium on deep-sea mining affecting the waters near Guam, will also take place today at the Guam Congress Building. In more news, the University of Guam and the University of Guam Endowment Foundation awarded $40,000 in last-mile scholarships in 2025, helping students who are within 30 credits of graduation complete their degrees. The program, launched in 2019, was created after surveys showed financial hardship was a major reason students left college before graduating. University officials say even small awards can make a difference for students close to finishing. UOG President Anita Borja Enriquez said, with so many students only a few credits away from a degree, a small investment can have a life-changing return. This year's funding came from increased donor support, including contributions from local business leaders, elected officials, and private donors. According to a release, the largest gift came in October from local realtor Patricia Fior, who contributed $100,000 to the Single Parents and Children of Single Parent Scholarship, She also gave $10,000 to fund two $5,000 awards in 2025 for students in education, agriculture and life sciences, and health science. Reporting for the Marianas Business Journal, The Wave 105, and Power 98, I'm Skylar Obispo.
All right, everyone, that was your local news by Mr. Skylar Obispo. Hopefully we're keeping you informed. We also want to give you an update from our friends from the National Weather Service on today's weather.
Half a day. This is Paul Stanko from your National Weather Service for Wednesday, January 7th. The shear line will drop a little more rain today and possibly Thursday also. Then showers will go isolated. Northeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour will continue through Thursday night, then increase Friday. The high risk of rip currents along north and east facing reefs has lingered, but should become moderate this evening. The fire danger is low, just barely though, and could go moderate at any time. The latest weather information can always be found at www.weather.gov/GUM.
All right. Today, it's Wednesday, January 7th, 6:34. Let's take another look at traffic. The Real Deal Traffic Report is brought to you by Mobile Oil Guam. Fuel your drive with Mobile Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel for your chance at mobile prepaid gas card or 75,000 United mileage plus miles. Visit mobile stations for more details. Also brought to you by Guam Auto Spot. Schedule a test drive today at Guam Auto Spot by calling 478 Auto or view our inventory on our website at guamautospot.com. Guam Auto Spot, 478 Auto. All right, Guam, taking a look at traffic. Just please remember the roads are kind of slick, so just be safe. We want everyone to get to their destination safely. Reporting on traffic right now. Route 4 to Route 17 in the clear. Route 8, it's looking smooth. I know you'll start building up in that tri-intersection area, but maybe in the next hour we'll give you another update. Taking along to Route 1 into Munning, we have some slight buildup in front of the JFK intersection, all the way down to what is this? All the way down to the Pacific Star. Traffic on Airport Road in front of the mobile airport is starting to build up, as well as along in the Teason Parkway. Other than that, I don't see anything else too bad for your traffic. That's it, and we'll keep you safe. And welcome back to the show.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show.
Manana Sidzus, this is Mornings with Patti on the Wave 105.1 FM. This is Melissa Savares filling in for the last few days as Patti makes her way back to Guam. So, you know, the traffic is, of course, building up because
building up right now.
Students are making their way to school, right? And then, but, you know, be careful on the roadways because they are kind of slick. So, you know, I was listening to Skylar's news and how the University of Guam, you know, some people have not re-registered, right, for their upcoming semester. And one of the challenges was, of, you know, the economy, right? They need to, you know, go to work instead of paying their tuition. But there's so many programs or grants that are given to to people, right, through the university for education. And there's like Doc Sanchez scholarships, different grants depending on your major. There's programs, and it might not fund the entire tuition, right, for the semester, but it would help, maybe $500 here, $1,000 there. You just gotta apply for them, right? But there's so many ways to go and look at what's available at the registrar's office. There's a list of different programs or grants that you can apply for, depending again on your major. If you haven't declared one, even just for the required classes, right? There's a possibility that you can qualify for different programs, grant programs, or student loans. I know student loans are difficult because at the end you need to pay all that back and stuff, but it's very minimal if you really look at it, because once you graduate and you have a job, then you can factor that as part of your budget or your financial obligations. But nowadays there's just so many opportunities, especially in our region, for health. We promote health care, the environment, marine life, science is a big thing here because we're surrounded by so many things. We're in the middle of the ocean, but are surrounded by different things that you can do research on. I have a niece that was studied biology and ocean, life and coral reefs while she was at the University of Guam, and now, she works in an agency that focuses on protecting the coral reef, and her job is fascinating because, she goes out there and every now and then goes out on site. But the opportunities for financial assistance in this field are wide range, because depending on what organization you work with, or she did internship at the University of Guam while she was studying during her biology classes. But there's just opportunities because the university also receives grants to do research. It's an opportunity for students to apply for funding for their semester to be part of that research team, right? So when my niece was going to school, she was actually twice a week. She was at the beach because they're snorkeling to get evidence, right?
Yeah, collecting samples.
Collecting samples. I said, "Wow, I like your class, right?"
Yeah, that's fun.
But and they do it during different times of the day because of the tide, right? And so, things. We're surrounded by ocean life, but also, different things: education, healthcare, public safety. Business. We have a very good business administration, business, school of business, school of education, the science. We have the school of engineering, and then what's important to us is Guam history, our culture, right? The Chamorro culture. Yes. So there's a lot. There's classes that also, at the university where you focus on the cultural preservation and immersion of the Chamorro culture and the language and traditions. And they, in those classes, they also have university partnership with universities in Taiwan, Japan, and the Philippines.
Yes.
So, the relationships that they have that cross because of their studies. It's just wide range, and so we have students from there that come to Guam
Yes.
and study here. So the exchange student program is very healthy here at the university, and rich in culture as far as what we do as an island people. And recently we saw the participation of Guam in the indigenous festivities that they had in Taiwan, and so those are important to learning, right? And then cultural preservation. So it's if you're wanting to go to school and you just don't know how to support it financially, check with the registrar's office, because there are a list of programs that you can probably participate in or apply for, and get your education, part of your education at least, paid for, right? Sometimes it doesn't take care of labs, but the labs is very minimal. Book sharing, again, books are expensive, but they have e-books.
Oh, yeah.
And you have students who don't need their books anymore, and they put it out as,
Yeah.
they sell it back, right? For a very minimal cost compared to what they bought it for, right? So it's about, recycling, right? What someone doesn't need, they repurpose for another person that's going to take the class and maybe could use that resource to help them with their lessons. So, in their classes. So, those are very, they're alternate ways to get your education, further your education, is seeing what resources are available, or what funding or grants are available that you can participate in. And if it's part of a research, then by all means take advantage of it, because hands-on learning, right? It's you're in the middle of an experiment or research, and it helps us, provides the island also with resources that we may not have immediately, to get samples, and our marine life here at the marine lab. There's so much there that that goes on, with learning, and we do a lot of here in Department of Education as well. They also cross, during the summer months, or even during the break, the Christmas, the winter breaks. There's introduction to, like, for high school students to be introduced to higher education. And during this Christmas break, there was the Trades Academy. Trades Academy and Guam Community College offered classes to students who are in high school to learn skills and trades for 2 weeks. So, I saw several of the photos of those classes being held. And, it's an opportunity for high school students to actually kind of, if they're not sure what their goals are after high school, because at this point, after the holidays, students, or even before the holidays, students in high school, especially juniors and seniors, are looking at colleges, filling out college applications, to prepare themselves for acceptance to different colleges, right, and universities. So this is a great opportunity for them to start looking into that, because it takes time, because sometimes you have to do an essay to attach to your applications, and then you have to get letters of recommendations from maybe your teachers, your counselors, community leaders, and that's why it was important when this service learning was introduced to Guam Department of Education, because when students apply for work, or even for colleges, to be accepted to colleges, what happens is they ask, what kind of community service have you had? And if they haven't engaged in any kind of service learning or community service or volunteer work, then it's difficult to, use that tool and your recommendations as a boost in your application, right? So it's good to have service learning. So it's required. Service learning is required as part of the high school graduation requirements. Students in the Guam Department of Education high schools must complete 75 hours of service learning hours to be able to graduate as part of their requirements. So the first 3 years, which is freshman, sophomore, and junior years, you need to have 20 hours of community service or service learning. And in your senior year, because of course senior year is a lot busier, it's down to 15 hours. So it's a total of 75 hours in high school. And some students, because they start early and they're active, they complete their service learning hours by their sophomore or junior year because it's accumulated all those hours. And sometimes with teachers, students don't have transportation to get picked up after school, or they don't have transportation to get to a service learning project for the week during the weekends. What teachers do and counselors is they provide opportunities for in-school service learning. So sometimes they'll assign students who cannot go to a weekend service learning project to maybe help in the counseling office or help in the cafeteria, right? Or set up for an assembly, right? So those are opportunities that teachers actually allow for students to get hours for service learning, or even like Mes Chamorro or during a science project. That's another thing, is that they, let them, participate in school projects and count that as their service learning, not just for the grade, but it's because they have to make the effort to plan, and then prepare and then execute, right? So even if it's during the drive for like Salvation Army, or when they canned good drives, they give students service learning hours for bringing canned goods in or non-perishable items, so that they can contribute, because by bringing things, they're donating it, right? So bring stuff from your homes that you use, that you would like to share with others, even if it's like a pair of socks or shoes. They do the shoe drives for students who some teachers allow the service learning hours for those additional things. Or if they, during the holiday, a lot of student groups also went to on Thanksgiving Day to the Chamorro village to help serve the meals to individuals that came to partake in the Salvation Army Thanksgiving meal, Thanksgiving lunch. So opportunities like that during parent open house at schools, or during open house and parent conference, if students come and help the teachers, at least with directions and guiding families around the school campus during those times, students are also afforded the service learning hours there. But that's important. So to get to the university and not know what kind of funding you're going to have to pay for your tuitions, or even at the Guam Community College, there are opportunities for grants or programs that have offered tuition assistance. So, try not to let that be a deterrence for you to further your education, and allow it for accept that opportunity, right? Many University of Guam also has the Upward Bound program. For first time, if your parents did not go to the university or do not have a college degree, and you're the first person in the family that is pursuing that. The Upward Bound program actually starts off with students in high school and recruits from there, and then mentors them through their process. And so that's another opportunity. So there's many ways to fund education through the university and the Guam Community College through scholarships that could be available, again, depending on your major or your specialty in school. So, and Guam has a variety of things that you can engage in, so take advantage and just be on the lookout for those advertisements. I know that for high school students, the Shea Scholarship Program, Dr. Shea is a very, very giving person, right? And so he has the athletes scholarship. So what he does is, gives some funds to start them off. I know for every applicant, even if they don't get win the scholarship that Dr. Shea offers, each individual applicant that comes to apply, they always give them at least $1,000. And then the applicant, I don't know what that means. I think it's the tuition for that semester. But there's many students on Guam that actually are afforded the sports scholarships. We've seen over the years how students, the scouts come out to, whether it be soccer, football, I saw recently golf scholarships, that come out, volleyball, basketball scholarships for sports. So students are afforded that opportunity as well to apply for university scholarships, not just here on Guam, but also in the mainland, for under sports scholarships. So, if you're a good athlete, that's probably something you can look into. I have some neighbors who actually both children have sports scholarship for 4 years, just playing rugby. And I know there's a lot of rugby students here that got the same opportunity for different colleges, universities in the States. So, college tuition, yes, it's expensive. It continues to go up in most cases. But, there's opportunities to apply for programs that are out there that can fund either partial or 100% of your tuition fees. Of course, labs and books are not included, but you can apply for other supplemental programs to help you fund that. And in most cases, some of these scholarships, many of them also provide a stipend for the students. So, provided your grades need to be maintained and kept up in order to benefit from these programs. So, that's a great thing. Our island has so much. Our students here on Guam have so many opportunities to further their education with the support of our island community. And there's a lot of businesses too that also contribute to that. So that part of it is that after the student graduates, they come back and give time. They work for the businesses or companies that supported them. And it's the same way with the Merit Scholars. For those high school students that receive a Merit Scholarship from the government of Guam, what happens is you complete your studies. Of course, Merit Scholars, you have to complete. You have to serve time in the government agencies or in the government of Guam for at least, I believe it's 2 years to give back of your service. So it's a paying job, but you're committed for 2 years to serve here on our island. So we are at the top of the hour, and we're going to take a break for the news and come back with more discussions after the news. Thank you.
GOP retreat says of the U.S. military capturing Nicolas Maduro and his wife in Venezuela.
It was an amazing military feat that took place.
The White House is sending officials to Capitol Hill tomorrow for briefings. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns.
Tomorrow's briefing will be the first time that all lawmakers are briefed by these top administration officials. And the questions that they have are questions that we all have, which is, what is the end game here? The president says that we are now running Venezuela. What exactly does that look like?
In Washington, D.C., marking 5 years since the U.S. Capitol attack. Some of those pardoned marched in a small rally at the Capitol, as did counter-demonstrators.
5 years ago, I was stunned by what happened and what's been going on since, where they say it was a day of love. It wasn't. It was a terrible day in American history.
Some Senate Democrats are introducing new legislation to prevent taxpayer money from being awarded to convicted and now pardoned rioters. In Los Angeles, Fire Chief Jamie Moore delivers public remarks to the Board of Fire Commissioners on the devastating Lockman and Palisades fires. Moore vowed to restore public trust in his agency.
We take responsibility for making these improvements, and I am fully committed to ensuring the lessons from the Palisades and Lockman fires result in meaningful, lasting change.
In Corpus Christi, Texas, the prosecution and defense have made opening statements in the criminal trial of former Uvalde Schools police officer Adrian Gonzalez. He's among the officers who responded to the mass shooting that left 19 students and 2 teachers dead in May of 2022. The jury has heard 2 very different versions of his actions that day. Defense attorney Nico LaHood.
He didn't just sit there. He did what he could with what he knew at the time, and this was fluid and it was a dynamic situation.
The prosecution says Gonzalez did nothing until it was too late. European allies have come up with security guarantees for Ukraine. CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
The meeting in Paris was also attended by President Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff, and the French president called it a significant step towards guaranteeing Ukraine's security after a peace agreement is reached with Russia. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
It's important that we're starting the year like this. European and American allies, side by side with President Zelensky, standing for peace.
Witkoff said afterwards the territorial issues are the most problematic going forward, but the security protocols, he said, are important for the people of Ukraine to know that when this ends, it ends forever.
The Dow and S&P 500 end at records in bullish early 2026 trading. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
There's new proof airline passengers are fed up with shrinkflation.
Some WestJet passengers are sharing their frustration over the Canadian carrier's new economy seats.
Yeah, can you just straighten out your legs there?
Impossible.
Just straighten out your legs.
A Reddit user has posted a claustrophobia-inducing clip on legroom or lack of that was cramping her parents' style.
Mom, how about you? Yeah, well, I'm going to be sharing my leg space with him.
The consensus:
new planes. Yeah, you have to pay for the other leg.
Canada's Daily Hive reports WestJet has paused its revamp after negative feedback from passengers, who also have to pay extra for reclining seats now. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
President Trump may have his name on the building, but it's still the Kennedy Center to Congress. A bipartisan spending package released by House Speaker Mike Johnson includes $32 million for operating expenses at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Wave 105.1 FM, the talk of Guam, a proud Glimpses media radio station. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show. KGUM-FM, Dedido, the talk of Guam. This is Wave 105.1 FM, a Glimpses media radio station.
Feeling good, getting things done. Wave 105 FM.
Good morning, Guam. Time now is 7:05. It's Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. You are tuned into KGUM FM Barragata, Guam, the Wave 105.1 FM. This is Mornings with Patti with our guest host, Melissa Savares. We want to thank our sponsors, Pat's Tinting and Detailing. Call 647-SLAM. The Medical City, where patients are partners. Code 1 Law Enforcement Store. Take Care Insurance Company. Our Island, your health plan. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots. Visit bankpacific.com today. GTA, we start with you. And Hyatt Regency Guam. We're going to get into some local headlines with Skylar Obispo from the Marianas Business Journal and Guam Business Magazine. And we also have Mr. Paul Stanko of the National Weather Service, Tizen from Tizen. Don't forget our Wave Studio line is 671-922-1051-1052. You can WhatsApp us at 671-922-1051. We're streaming online at thewave105.com or catch us on YouTube at the Wave 105.1 FM Guam. Don't forget Guam for more on-the-go listening. We have our Glimpses of Guam app where you can tune into this station as well as our other stations, Power 98 and Route 99. All right, we're going to get into local headlines from Mr. Skylar Obispo, brought to you by McDonald's of Guam. Take a well-deserved break. Have a delicious oven-baked strawberry and cream pie at McDonald's today. Goes great with McCafe iced coffee for a limited time only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Buenas and Hoffaday. Here is the latest from the Marianas Business Journal. The Guam Memorial Hospital Authority announced continued progress on several facility improvement projects aimed at maintaining safe and functional conditions for patients, staff, and visitors. Work is ongoing on a roof and exterior revitalization project affecting areas such as the intensive care unit, pediatrics, and medical telemetry unit, with additional exterior work planned near the emergency department and surgical units. GMHA also confirmed progress on its parking expansion project after clearance from the Guam Environmental Protection Agency, allowing earthwork to begin. Upgrades to the hospital's cooling systems continue through phased installations of new chiller components. Inside the facility, environmental services teams have completed floor care and operating rooms in several ICU areas. with additional patient care units scheduled in the coming weeks. GMHA Interim CEO Jolene M. Uggin said the projects address aging infrastructure while supporting day-to-day care. Governor Lulian Guerrero emphasized the importance of maintaining the current hospital as long-term plans for a new facility move forward. In more news, the Guam Department of Education received a clean audit opinion on its fiscal year 2024 financial statements and on one major federal program, according to an audit released on January 2nd by Ernst & Young. However, auditors issued qualified opinions on several other federal programs, citing material weaknesses in compliance related to child nutrition, special education, and COVID-era education funds, along with about $1 million in questioned costs. Despite the findings, GDOE reported ending FY 2024 with a record $77 million fund surplus, driven by increased local appropriations and the transfer of certain local payroll costs to Federal American Rescue Plan funding. In a statement, GDOE acknowledged the audit's findings and said corrective actions are underway to strengthen internal controls, improve compliance, and work towards clean audit opinions across all federal grants. Reporting for the Marianas Business Journal, The Wave 105, and Power 98, I'm Skylar Obispo.
Half a day. This is Paul Stanko from your National Weather Service for Wednesday, January 7th. The shear line will drop a little more rain today and possibly Thursday also. Then showers will go isolated. Northeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour will continue through Thursday night, then increase Friday. The high risk of rip currents along north and east facing reefs has lingered, but should become moderate this evening. The fire danger is low, just barely though, and could go moderate at any time. The latest weather information can always be found at www.weather.gov/GUM.
All right, Guam, 7:10 in the morning, Wednesday, January 7. Let's take another look at traffic brought to you by Guam Auto Spot. Schedule a test drive today at Guam Auto Spot by calling 478 Auto. View the inventory on their website at guamautospot.com. Guam Auto Spot 478 Auto. Also brought to you by Mobile Oil Guam. Fuel your drive with Mobile Synergy Supreme Plus fuel for your chance at mobile prepaid gas cards or 75,000 United Mileage Plus miles. Visit mobile stations for more details. Okay, Guam. So the roads are still kind of wet, so it's kind of slick, so be safe out there. Looking at traffic right now, Route 4 and the Route 17 looking pretty clear. Route 8 is slowly building up there in that tri-intersection, as well as the Route 1, the airport intersection, and JFK. We also want to take a look in Dededo. The Route 16, Route 1, this is the Micronesia Mall, starting to build up as well as the Highway 27. This is the Guam Football Association, as well as the other pockets of Dededo, Liguan, Machechi. Moving into Route 28, Anderson is building up, as well as Route 3, that entrance into the Marine Camp Blas got some delay, as well as the Steamboat area and Ukadu. Guam Regional is looking pretty clear. Other than that, that's it for now. We'll give you another update soon.
Here for the community. Wave 105 FM. Hey.
Manana Zeus. This is Mornings with Patti on the Wave 105.1 FM. And this is Melissa Savares filling in today. There's so many opportunities for great things. The roads are still wet out there, so please be careful as you drive through. The Archdiocese actually had a culminating celebration, Eucharistic celebration, which is a Mass, yesterday for the annual, this past year was the Pilgrim of Hope. And at the beginning of the year, what happened is 3 parishes were identified for pilgrims. So, pilgrimages, you go from one church to another to pray. And the 3 parishes, it was North, Central, and South. And the southern parish of Saint Joseph, San Jose, and in Alahan was the southern, one of the pilgrim sites. And then the central area was, of course, the Dulce Nombre de Maria Cathedral Basilica, the Agana Cathedral, and then the Astumbo Divine Mercy St. John Paul the Great, the second chapel was also the pilgrim site. So there were 3 sites where pilgrims throughout the island, the Catholic faithful, went during the year. They would, take turns or go on pilgrims. So many of them did it as parishes or organizations, like several Christian mother groups did it, went on like Saturday morning. They'll start in South and then go to the cathedral. And there was a morning or a day of prayer when they did these pilgrimages. And so yesterday was the culminating Eucharistic celebration, Mass, ending the Pilgrim of Hope for the year. And so the different parishes or different organizations of the Catholic Church were represented by with their banners and their signs, showing their unity to pay tribute to their faith and participate in the pilgrimages. I had the opportunity to be a guardian at the Astumbo, at the Divine Mercy St. John Paul II chapel. And so on Saturday mornings, I would be there and wait for pilgrims to come to make sure that the churches, there were always guardians at the churches during the days, so that in case, especially on weekends, so when the pilgrims decide that they're going to do their pilgrimage, the churches were open. So in Alahan, always had their doors open during the times that the pilgrims were making their trek around, and as well as the Cathedral Basilica and the chapel, the Divine Mercy St. John Paul II. St. John Paul Yuli is the only saint.
Right.
He was the only pope that actually came to Guam in 1981.
Yes.
And now he's a saint. So we feel honored, that we're naming a church after him here in Guam. And I remember, I know you're too young, but I remember being a junior in high school during that time. And we had the opportunity it was, people from all over the region, families from Saipan came to Guam. People from the outer islands came, Asia, individuals from Asia came, but it was a huge thing here, that a pope came here. As a matter of fact, like I said, I was in high school and we had slept. We kind of like got things ready and then we bunked out in Hagatnya. My uncle was a senator at the time, so we slept in his office at the legislature, that night. And there was a lot of people that did that. If they had businesses, relationships with businesses in the area, because, bus loads of people were brought into Hagatnya, the next morning when the Pope had his Mass. But we even had a Pope Mobile. And as a matter of fact, I think the Pope Mobile is still parked at St. Anthony Church in Tumuning. I remember it was parked there for many years. It looked like a little golf cart, but just a little bit bigger. Right. And it had the tempered glass, and the Pope rode that in that. And he actually visited the hospitals, and he, visited those that could not go to him. I believe it was St. Dominic's he also went up to, where the Manamkos were there.
Okay.
But just being in Hagåtña, that whole Plaza de España, Skinner Plaza, the entire Hagåtña, because the Mass was outside on the road, So they built a big stage where his statue is. Where that's where the altar was. It was built because the museum wasn't there yet. Yeah. So it was, the Skinner Plaza was open, and the Plaza de España, and a lot of that was my first encounter with Secret Service, right? But just like in Rome, when the Pope makes his presence, you have people. There's no such thing as benches and chairs, right? People standing, sitting on the ground, waiting for him to pass by, and so that was an opportunity for many. So we were right in the front because, like I said, we stayed overnight in Hagåtña, and just walked out, and the Mass, it was just crowded. But Pope John Paul was the first Pope to come to Guam, and he is now a saint. And so the chapel is named, in his namesake as well. And that was something I went, after the show yesterday, I went to attend the funeral Mass for the late Senator Carmen Artero Caspabauer.
Yes.
And that was one thing that she was, the Archbishop had mentioned in his homily, is how she was devoted to the church, to her faith. And he mentioned that, she, Mrs. Caspabauer was actually a very, very instrumental in building that church in Astumbo. And so how she was very adamant about naming the church after a saint that actually visited Guam, which is Saint John Paul II. So that was one of the three pilgrim sites, churches, where pilgrims in this past year came through and did pilgrimage throughout the island, and in prayer, and prayed for peace, unity, forgiveness, and especially within our island and in our region. As you know, with the military, we are the tip of the spear. So we're known as a tip of the spear, and our faith. We pray that our island people are safe, despite what's going on with the military and the just unpeaceful activities that go on throughout our region between the countries, right? But that's something that was very meaningful yesterday. It was the funeral for Senator Caspabauer, who as was part of that pilgrimage development with her chapel, the church in Astumbo, the Divine Mercy John Paul II, and then how they had the culminating celebration for the year of the hope, the year of hope. So, faith here on our island is very, relevant, because no matter what denominations we have, everybody comes together in prayer, and we see that when we have events throughout our island during a legislative event. Whether it be the governor's State of the Island address or a state funeral, we have both all denominations represented, where you have the chaplain of the legislature will do the opening prayer, and then the other denomination pastors will do, a pastor representative will do the benediction. So we have Guam is an island of many faiths, and just like it is an island of multicultural groups that come to Guam to call Guam home. And it's just to be in prayer is important, because we pray for good health and the safety of our people. And in the Catholic faith, we pray. We don't idolize, but we pray for the intentions of Santa Maria and Camalin, who is our patroness for our island. She's protected us from storms and natural disasters. We've had earthquakes that, if these earthquakes were in another country, they'd be deaths, same as typhoons, right? But we've been fortunate enough with the protection of, and I believe, the protection of our Santa Maria and Camalin to the people of Guam and the Marianas, as well as the faith that we have in believing that there is a God, that we believe, and they protect us, right? So we've been spared from drastic devastation. Here. We're a resilient community. After a storm or even after an earthquake, everybody checks on each other and makes sure that each other is well, right? And there's no major need. We pick up ourselves and we kind of dust the dust off our knees, and then get up and move on, right? And life moves on. We just make sure that our neighbors are safe, our families are safe, and we continue our lives. We go back to work, we go back to school, and that's what our island people are known to be: resilient and faithful, right? So, those are things that, we always pray for good health, right, for our people, and part of that is to make sure that we ourselves as individuals make that effort. We can't just let everybody do it for us or guide us. We have to make our effort on our own. And so we all take care of our families by providing a safe environment for them to live in. And we heard from a few friends of ours about what we can do for our most vulnerable population, who are left without or faced with homelessness, but there are programs that will be coming up that are in the planning right now, because funding has been allotted, for our homeless community. So we look forward to the programs the planning that WestCare Pacific Islands is going to be doing, so that our most vulnerable population can find shelter and a safe haven for themselves and those around them, so that they can also be reunified with their family members. Some families have been separated because of maybe lack of shelter, and so the children are in a safe place with either relatives or in foster care, and then the parents are struggling to try to be a little more self-sustaining, meaning they're trying to get training or trying to get benefits to get themselves back in order and in a safer place to live, be under a program so they're applying for housing, and with assistance. There's organizations out there that are assisting in those cases, individual cases, and hopefully we see more programs that are going to be available to these individual families who need the extra help and attention so if you have that they're faced with. So if you have a call, you want to talk about a topic, please give us a call at 9 671-922-1051 or 1052. We'd be happy to hear you and get some comments or thoughts of what you think about what's going on through the day, health care, healthier lifestyles. And we are at the bottom of the hour, and we'll take a quick break and come back with more information. Thank you.
Let's do it.
Wave 105, the talk of Guam. Real voices, real stories, right here at home. From Jigo to Molesto, if Guam's talking about it, you'll hear it on Wave 105.
Jack, when you look back on 75 years...
Oh, I'm not looking back. I'm bringing back my Chicken Supreme. Comes in a combo and munchie meal. This fan favorite starts at just $6.99. And the munchie meal comes with a collectible jibby.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Full stacks, limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
Are you ready? The 2026 Power 98 Step Up Challenge is on, and it's your last chance to register. Attention all high school classes and clubs, you could win thousands of bucks in Guam's longest running video competition. Register now at power98.com. But hurry, registration ends this Sunday. All high school classes and clubs, it's time to step up. Registration is limited, so register now at power98.com. The 2026 Power 98 Step Up Challenge is presented by the Agenia Shopping Center, the Bank of Guam, the Guam Army National Guard, and brought to you by Domino's Guam, Wave 105, Route 99 FM, and the station ready to give you thousands of dollars for your school class or club, Power 98.
Are you planning a trip to the Philippines? Why not come back feeling healthier and more rejuvenated? At the Medical City, we offer world-class healthcare services, including comprehensive executive checkups and top-tier aesthetic treatments for as low as $530. Imagine lounging on white sandy beaches, shopping at top-tier shopping centers, and indulging in premium healthcare all in one vacation. Book your getaway now and experience the best of both worlds. The Medical City, your trusted partner in health.
All right, Guam, you're tuned into Wave 105.1. This is Mornings with Patti, hosted by Miss Melissa Savares. Don't forget, you can call us at 671-922-1051, 1052, or WhatsApp us at 671-922-1051. All right, we're going to give you some local headlines by the Marianas Business Journal. Mr. Skylar Obispo, this is brought to you by McDonald's of Guam. Take a well-deserved break. Have a delicious oven-baked strawberry and cream pie at McDonald's today. Goes great with McCafe iced coffee for a limited time only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Buenas and Hafide. Here is the latest from the Marianas Business Journal. The Office of the Governor, in partnership with the University of Guam Sea Grant and Guam Green Growth, will host a free public workshop today to help residents submit comments on a federal deep-sea mining proposal affecting waters near Guam, the Marianas Trench, and the Sienna Mine. A workshop titled Our Ocean, Our Voice will run from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Guam Museum. Organizers say assistance will be available to explain the proposal and to help participants prepare comments ahead of the January 12 deadline. The proposal issued by the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management covers about 35.5 million acres of seafloor east of the Marianas Trench Marine National Monument. Officials say the workshop is intended to increase public participation on an issue with potential environmental, cultural, and regional impacts. A public hearing on Legislative Resolution 132, calling for a moratorium on deep-sea mining affecting the waters near Guam, will also take place today at the Guam Congress Building. In more news, the University of Guam and the University of Guam Endowment Foundation awarded $40,000 in last-mile scholarships in 2025, helping students who are within 30 credits of graduation complete their degrees. The program, launched in 2019, was created after surveys showed financial hardship was a major reason students left college before graduating. University officials say even small awards can make a difference for students close to finishing. UOG President Anita Borja Enriquez said, with so many students only a few credits away from a degree, a A small investment can have a life-changing return. This year's funding came from increased donor support, including contributions from local business leaders, elected officials, and private donors. According to a release, the largest gift came in October from local realtor Patricia Fior, who contributed $100,000 to the Single Parents and Children of Single Parents Scholarship. She also gave $10,000 to fund two $5,000 awards in 2025 for students in education, agriculture and life sciences, and health science. Reporting for the Marianas Business Journal, the Wave 105 and Power 98, I'm Skylar Obispo.
All right, Guam, 7:33 on this Wednesday, January 7th. Let's take another look at traffic. We're minutes away from the 8 o'clock hour, so hopefully you guys are not speeding anywhere. Get safe to your destination of work, school. But we're going to give you an update right now. This is brought to you by Mobile Oil Guam. For your drive with Mobile's Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel. For your chance at mobile prepaid gas card or 75,000 United Mileage Plus miles. Visit mobile stations for more details. We also want to thank Guam Auto Spot. Schedule a test drive today at Guam Auto Spot by calling 478-AUTO or view our inventory on our website at guamautospot.com. Guam Auto Spot, 478-AUTO. All right, Guam, taking a look at traffic. On Route 1, if you're making your way to the Naval Base, you have some pretty big delays all the way, making almost to the the Veterans Cemetery. So hopefully you guys make your way into the base safely. Hagåtña Route 4, it's got some build up, nothing too crazy. Route 4, when you're making that turn, Route 4, Route 10, this is Jonia to Manila, got some back delays as well as the Route 10. We want to remind you for Route 10, there's going to be some construction delays. They're still doing the resurfacing, which will commence at 9. So please plan your routes accordingly. But looking at Route 10, you got some buildup hitting that the Department of Agriculture and UOG. So you got some delays there, as well as Route 10, Route 8, the tri-intersection. Yeah, it's not quite that 8 o'clock hour, but it's building right now. So make it safe, Guam. Also, lastly, I would like to report for this traffic hour. Tizen is, as well as the route, Route 3, GRMC, Ukudu, and the Camp Blas have some delays, as well as the Anderson Air Force Base gate. So please make your ways to those destinations safely, and we'll get back to the show. Thanks, Guam.
Okay, welcome back to Mornings with Patti on the Wave 105.1 FM. Our numbers are open. Our lines are open right now. So please give us a call if you have any comments or you want to share an announcement with us. Our numbers are 671-922-1051 or 1052. Yes, and so, we talked about several outreaches, that are happening Sunday and Monday. So Sunday will be the outreach at the Palawan Abay, hosted by the Guam Community Health Centers, the ZOAMT students who are medical students from in the States, and they're here for the holidays to spend the holidays with their families, but are also helping with outreach. So they will be one of the hosts to the medical outreach on Sunday at the Palawan Abay, as well as the Palawan Consul General office. So it's a program that will do some screenings, health screenings, and that will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or to 1 p.m. So 10 o'clock in the morning, Sunday, to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and this will be at the Palau Cultural Center on Lada Avenue in Dedido. So, medical screenings will occur. And then on Monday, there'll be a Inalahan Town Hall meeting, which will include information on medical health care updates, and they will be joined by a sponsor. The host for that event in Inalahan is the Inalahan Mayor's Office, American Medical Center and American Medical Clinic, as well as the Guam Diamonds Lions Club and the Advanced Accessible Van Transportation Services, AVTS. And then they'll also share that outreach that is at Inalahan Community Center from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And they will share some information on updates on medical news. Join the local health leaders as they share important medical updates and discuss key health topics and answer questions. And they will also announce some new initiatives, low-cost prescriptions, easier access to health care, and finding the right provider for the individuals that attend if you don't have. And then, of course, the engagement of community discussions. So we have a caller, Mr. Pete Santos. Welcome, Pete. Half a day.
Half a day, Mayor.
How are you today? Happy New Year.
Wonderful. Happy New Year to you. That's why I'm calling, just to wish you that first and foremost. But, I like I've been always telling you, I love to hear you on the radio. You're just such a wonderful host, such a knowledgeable host, and you really, get at the important topics. Very, very worthwhile to listen to you and your guests, whoever you have on. But, I wanted to say, last night I went to an event. It was the 20th anniversary of the venue.
Oh, okay.
And they had a customer appreciation event. Nice. And anyhow, I met just last night 3 different individuals who I had met while I was living in the States or even in Germany. And I said, hey, are you visiting? And they're like, no, we live here now on Guam.
Nice.
And so, we always hear about, people leaving and things like that. And it's, we always hear about the doom and gloom kind of attitude or perspective. But, there's a lot of people, I could say in the last year that I've met, at least a dozen people that I've met here on Guam that have moved back, and they come back and they're actually active and participating in the community. One guy last night that I met, he's a new business owner. The other guy is an engineer in the government, and the other guy, who's a lieutenant colonel, has his own consulting firm. Yeah. And so, it's not all doom and gloom, and it's not all brain drain. There's people coming back, and I'm very...
Yes. Hello, Pete. Are you still there? Yeah. So, you're absolutely right. Pete is absolutely right. Just recently, we hired at the Guam Community Health Centers.
Living abroad.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. They're coming back home. Maybe they retired or they changed jobs in the States and decided to come back and serve our island, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. A couple of days ago, I heard you talking with someone about helping people who have physical disabilities, and one of the things that I realized over this last year, just contemplating what's going on our island, why are we so needy, why do we have so many people that need assistance, right?
Yes.
It seems a little bit disproportionate. And what I think I realize is that, there are people with physical limitations, but that's not what's stopping them. there's a lot of people with huge physical limitations that are unstoppable, and they're out there killing it, and they're doing what they need to do and getting stuff done. I think what we have, the problem we have on Guam is we have a mindset disability. A lot of people don't have faith in themselves to go out and do what they, and achieve any goals. And what that is probably a lack of guidance, or even, I would venture to say, some bad influence. And that's something that we can turn around if we make that a priority. We got to instill in the younger generation that resiliency, like you're talking about, but also that ambition and that drive.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And, we can't do it for them. We always say, you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink, right? But you can provide here on Guam, we provide the opportunities, but what are you going to do with the skills now that you have, right? Are you going to engage? Are you going to make a difference? You're going to go out there and conquer the world, right? So really, it's up to each individual how they have that. And even with people with challenges, with special needs, they're out there. We have Jackie Cabrera, who's blind and
absolutely, yeah.
She's a chef, right?
Yeah.
She cooks and she's teaching. So she spent 6 months here in Guam recently teaching other blind people how to fend for themselves and cook for themselves. So, that's not something that's going to keep them from doing and moving on, right?
Yeah, you got to ask. I ask people, when they complain, I say, okay, what's your excuse?
Yeah.
What's your excuse? Are you feeding that excuse? Are you letting that excuse, dictate? Or are you telling that excuse, that the excuse is not going to be the obstacle that stops you? It's how you look at your excuses. Are you going to use that excuse, or are you going to kill the excuse? And that's the difference. That's really all it is. It's just about mindset.
Yes, absolutely. And each individual. So, we recently, last week, we were talking about to West Care Pacific International, and one of the things is that, they have a grant for homelessness, and it's a $2.5 million grant. So it's a 5-year grant, right? So what they're going to do is, it's to bring these people who are homeless, but we're not going to tell them what to do. The plan is to sit down and plan, find out what they want, right? Because we can provide the shelter, we can provide the skill, the trades, right, for them to learn a skill so that they can get a job, right? And then so that they can get their kids back. That's important, right? But and set them in the right path. But it has to be the want of that person. It's not going to be the organization saying this is what you're going to do because you need it. We got to sit them. Each individual person needs to, sit down and set their goals. What do you want? Do you want to learn how skills? Do you need to take medication? Do you need to go through a treatment plan, right? So all those things need to be done because that's how we're going to help. That's how this program is going to help them, right? And hopefully...
Right, that's the better approach. The other thing that I realized over the last couple of years is one of the reasons why people are so handicapped is they have enablers, right? But I realized that there are people that are super enablers, right? And I'll give you 2 examples. One, I have a client, his mom keeps bailing him out, but she's the victim every time, right? So she'll bail him out just to be his victim again. So that, to me, is a super enabler.
Yes.
And then the other one is this mother and father that approached me outside of court after the hearing, and they sort of cobla me, right? They're like, what are you going to do to help my son? And I was looking at them, I was like, this is your son's 17th case. Nobody's going to help him except him. The counselor's not going to help him. The judge is not going to help him. The probation officer's not going to help him. DOC's not going to help him if he doesn't want to help himself.
Right.
So don't look at me as his lawyer and blame me that I'm not helping him.
Yeah.
He's not helping him.
Yeah.
Right. And horse to water. I
Yes.
like to change that up a little bit, and I have my own version. You know, I can give you toilet tissue, but I'm not going to wipe it for you.
That's right. Well, and another thing is that, you know, you can, I mean, for that parent, leave them where they're supposed to be and stop bailing them out, right?
Yeah, tough love.
Yeah, tough love. You know, help me. I used to tell people when they come to me and ask for, they want for handouts, right? But I wasn't the type of leader that would just give handouts. I always say, help me help you, right? Give me, what is it that you want? Because you need $1, okay, you know, this area right here needs to be cleaned up. Go clean it up. When you come back, I'll give you what you need. You need food? Okay, let's go. But you know what? Before I get you your food, you know, do a little bit of elbow, you know, use your elbow grease, right? And do some light work if you can't do hard work, and then you get paid for it, right? But you can't just keep giving and to the hands that
you
are
teach
out.
them to fish, not just give them the
Right,
fish.
correct. So, you know, I always say, help me help you. They tell me about an abusive relationship. Okay, well, what do you want to do about that? Because, you know, I can't say leave him or leave her or go hide, right? What do you want to do? Because once this person comes out, you're going to keep enabling the abuser, right? Like you had mentioned about the mother, she keeps enabling the son to come and make her be the victim again, right? So,
right.
You know, we have to, and I like the concept with West Care Pacific Islands, because they will bring each individual in and let them plan. Let the individual tell us what your plan is. If you need treatments, we will help you get to treatments. If you need to do therapy, you know, if you need to do, you need to learn a skill, we'll help you through that. But that's going to be part of your plan, so that there's succession after, there's sustainability after that, right? For you, the individual, not for us, the program, right? So
right, and you know, the thing they're doing with SNAP, I think, you know,
that's
is
a great
really
thing.
A good thing.
Great,
right?
really, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we're not just going to give you the fish. You have to
learn how to fish
yourself.
it. Right, learn how to fish it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're
Well,
absolutely,
thank you, Mayor. I really appreciate you being on the air, even though we miss Patti. But, you know, you're always awesome on the air, and I just wanted to thank you personally and let you know that how much I appreciate that.
Thank you, Pete, and we look forward to seeing you out there on the campaign trail this year.
Oh, yes. Oh,
okay?
yes.
And good luck with that.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, and have a God bless day. Bye-bye. Yeah. So, you know, that's true. I mean, we can help individuals, but, you know, we can't just keep giving. We have to help them. And you know, with the program that, you know, $2.5 million to assist, but that's also to make sure that they have the right people in the right places to assist individuals who are homeless, not just give them a home, but also teach them how to take care of themselves and teach them how to, you know, enroll them in a program that they want to learn. Maybe they want to learn how to, you know, maybe they need a health certificate because they really, really want to work in the restaurant, right? But, you know, you need to attend a class. You need to get your certification. You need to get your TB skin test, your medical clearance to make sure you're going to be fit. So this program will help that individual. So each individual has their own plan. I remember, you know, encountering several individuals who have challenges, mobility challenges. They're confined to a wheelchair. And I had called their relatives in one of the other islands, and I asked, I said, you know, is there any way that you can bring your sister back to where she lives? And, you know, they said, you know, we have other family members where she can stay with in Guam, but the individual would rather be out hanging out with their friends at the sidewalk, you know, panhandling. But this person, she speaks well. I said, man, she would be great at our office because she can answer the phones, right?
Okay.
And when I was in office, I actually had on each of our telephones, I have a script taped because we had a lot of volunteers. We had student volunteers that came in, and so while they're sitting there, you can answer the phone. I'm not going to discourage you. But if it's ringing, pick it up. Yeah. But there's a script that says half a day, Dedido Mayor's office. How can I help you? And you're not just saying half a day, Dedido Mayor's office. What do you need, right? That kind of stuff. And then if there was, questions, if it's somebody requesting for a verification, there's already a form for them to fill out, as they're getting the information, who's the head of household, what type of verification you need. And so anybody could just sit at a phone. And this individual, she spoke well. I said, come to the office and we'll let you volunteer. At least you'll be sitting down. You can be answering the phones while the staff are helping other individuals, right? And but she didn't want, So I said, then what is it that you want? And she said, well, I want to be with my friends outside. And but I said, because your disability, your challenges are not, it's not going to restrict you from doing something constructive, right? She can get paid. She can take orders, right? At a, nowadays we have everything online. So she can be at a computer, getting the orders and where it's going to be delivered. Right. And, you're seeing that their payments are made, right? Because payments are made online too. And that's something where she doesn't need to be walking back and forth, right? From the counter to the kitchen kind of stuff. And because of her limitations with mobility, those would have been perfect jobs. I mean, nowadays you go to McDonald's and you order on the screen, the kiosk, right? Yeah. I mean, even kiosks throughout the airports too. For sure. You check in you check in for a flight, and you're checking in at the kiosk. You just slide your passport in there, and then it actually prints out your boarding pass. You tell them how many bags you have to check in, how many hand carries, and you're done. You don't have to see a person, and so those kind of things. She can do telemarketing, right? And we have telemarketing here. So, those are jobs, if your mobility is limited, those are jobs that you could do, right? But it's a plan that we put together that a housing coordinator will put together and then, work for that individual plan. Now, the person that pushes her around might be a little more mobile. Maybe he can go work maintenance, right? Or learn a trade, learn how to do plumbing. But he can walk around, and she would be able to have a job, right? Answering phones, taking orders, kind of thing, right? But each individual person has different needs, but they need to set their goals, and so that they can find ways, because there's different programs, Trades Academy, GCC, Allied Health, they all have different education, teachers also have different skills, and, individuals with limited mobility can even take the lunch tickets at the schools, right? Yeah. You know how the lady at the lunch line is the one taking the tickets or checking their names off that they did come to eat. Those are things that individuals can do. And for those, the SNAP, we mentioned, Teresa Ariola, when she had called, said one of the requirements starting January 2026 for all SNAP recipients is that they need to do 80 hours of employment. So they have 3 months to do this, but it's effective this month. They need to find, and if it's not, or volunteer work, employment or volunteer work, and that's a federal requirement. So anybody on the SNAP program, they did receive their letters for able bodies, and as per Department of Public Health, there are 41,000 people on our island that receive SNAP benefits. And out of these 41,000 individuals, there are 7,000 able-bodied adults that are not employed that need to engage in this federal change on their SNAP benefits. So volunteer is included. They can either go work, find a job for at least 80 hours a month, or volunteer for 80 hours a month. And there's plenty ways that they can volunteer. They can volunteer at their churches, volunteer at their mayor's offices, at any government agencies and entities, nonprofit organizations. And we are at the top of the hour, and we'll come back and talk more about ways to engage in our community. Thank you.
The post-Maduro scenario was weighed by the intelligence and military communities. CBS's Olivia Gazis.
In the short term, the agency found stability was most likely to come from people who were close to the Maduro system itself, and that senior regime figures, including the vice president, now president, Delcy Rodriguez, already controlled the military, the security services, all of the machinery of the government.
Maria Corina Machado, the leader of Venezuela's opposition party, says interim president Delcy Rodriguez was one of the main architects of Maduro's oppressive regime. In an exclusive interview, Machado tells CBS's Tony DeCopel,
"It sounds like you're saying she's done a lot of bad in the past, but now she is a puppet of the United States."
Well, I will not speculate once again. I think she is in a very critical position because nobody trusts her. Nobody.
You can see more of the interview on tonight's CBS Evening News. Greenland and Denmark are calling for a speedy meeting with Washington's top diplomat after President Trump's renewed claims on the self-governing Danish territory. Tom Høyem, former minister of Greenland for the government of Denmark, tells BBC News.
And if Mr. Trump would come with such an offer, do not know how the Danes are. You do not know how the Greenlandic people are. We are not for sale.
The White House says President Trump has made it well known that acquiring Greenland is a national security priority of the U.S., and the president and his team are discussing a range of options. The Trump administration is withholding funding to help needy families with children in 5 states governed by Democrats. Officials cited fraud concerns as a reason for the action targeting California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York. Officials in the state say the administration is motivated by politics. Opening statements started today in the trial of former Uvalde schools officer Adrian Gonzalez. He's accused in the slow response to the mass shooting that left 19 students and 2 teachers dead in 2022. CBS's Jason Allen on what the defense is saying.
They acknowledged to them that this is a trial that's going to change them. They said they will not be the same person, the same people after seeing what they see and listening to what they hear in the expected 2 weeks of this trial. So they asked people to put that aside. It was a chaotic, confusing situation, they said in their opening statements, and that Adrian Gonzalez was acting.
The Dow closes above 49,000 for the first time, and the S&P 500 sets another record high. The Dow closed up 485 points. NASDAQ jumped 151. S&P 500 was up 43. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho! And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company, Pure Talk.
McDonald's is being hit with a class action lawsuit over one of its sandwiches.
McDonald's calls it the McRib sandwich.
The plaintiffs claim the McRib contains no actual pork rib meat at all and is really just a hybrid of meat parts, including heart, tripe, and stomach. So the suit says that the name McRib combined with the patty's shape falsely signals a higher quality cut of meat, and that's misleading.
How about it?
In a statement, McDonald's denied the claims, insisting the fan favorite McRib is made made with 100% pork. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Amazon customers can now file a claim under its $2.5 billion settlement with the Federal Trade Commission. It resolved allegations of deceptive enrollment practices in the retailer's Prime shopping service. As part of the settlement, Amazon neither admitted nor denied the allegations. Customers should go to the website subscriptionmembershipsettlement.com to file a claim. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
KGUM FM, Deddyville, powered by Glimpses Media. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show.
All right, Guam, good morning. It's 8:04 in this beautiful morning, Wednesday, January 7, 2026. We want to thank you guys again for tuning in. This is KGUM FM, Barragona, Guam, the Wave 105.1 FM Mornings with Patti, with our guest host, Miss Melissa Savares. We want to make sure we thank all our sponsors. Pat's Tinting and Detailing, call 647-SLAM. The Medical City, where patients are partners. Code 1 Law Enforcement Store. Take Care Insurance Company. Our Island, Your Health Plan. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots. Visit bankpacific.com today. GTA, we start with you. As well as Hyatt Regency Guam. We're going to take another look at our local headlines with Mr. Skylar Obispo from the Marianas Business Journal and Guam Business Magazine. And our friend Mr. Paul Stanko at the National Weather Service in Tizen. Don't forget, our Wave studio line is 671-922-1051-1052. You can also WhatsApp us at 671-922-1051. Call us and just chat with us. We want to hear any concerns, comments, or any opinions on your mind. And don't forget, we're streaming online at thewave105.com and at YouTube at Wave 105.1 FM Guam. And don't forget, we also have our Glimpses of Guam app for more on-the-go listening. All right, Guam, let's take a look at the local news brought to you by McDonald's of Guam. Take a well-deserved break. Have a delicious oven-baked strawberry and cream pie at McDonald's today. Goes great with McCafe iced coffee for a limited time only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Buenas and Hafaday. Here's the latest from the Marianas Business Journal. The Guam Memorial Hospital Authority announced continued progress on several facility improvement projects aimed at maintaining safe and functional conditions for patients, staff, and visitors. Work is ongoing on a roof and exterior revitalization project affecting areas such as the intensive care unit, pediatrics, and medical telemetry unit, with additional exterior work planned near the emergency department and surgical units. GMHA also confirmed progress on its parking expansion project after clearance from the Guam Environmental Protection Agency, allowing earthwork to begin. Upgrades to the hospital's cooling systems continue through phased installations of new chiller components, Inside the facility, environmental services teams have completed floor care and operating rooms in several ICU areas, with additional patient care units scheduled in the coming weeks. GMHA Interim CEO Jolene M. Uggin said the projects address aging infrastructure while supporting day-to-day care. Governor Lulian Guerrero emphasized the importance of maintaining the current hospital as long-term plans for a new facility move forward. In more news, the Guam Department of Education received a clean audit opinion on its fiscal year 2024 financial statements and on one major federal program, according to an audit released on January 2nd by Ernst & Young. However, auditors issued qualified opinions on several other federal programs, citing material weaknesses in compliance related to child nutrition, special education, and COVID-era education funds, along with about $1 million in questioned costs. Despite the findings, GDOE reported ending FY 2024 with a record $77 million fund surplus, driven by increased local appropriations and the transfer of certain local payroll costs to Federal American Rescue Plan funding. In a statement, GDOE acknowledged the audit's findings and said corrective actions are underway to strengthen internal controls, improve compliance, and work towards clean audit opinions across all federal grants. Reporting for the Marianas Business Journal, the Wave 105, and Power 98, I'm Skylar Obispo.
Half a day. This is Paul Stanko from your National Weather Service for Wednesday, January 7th. The shear line will drop a little more rain today and possibly Thursday also. Then showers will go isolated. Northeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour will continue through Thursday night, then increase Friday. The high risk of rip currents along north and east facing reefs has lingered, but should become moderate this evening. The fire danger is low, just barely though, and could go moderate at any time. The latest weather information can always be found at www.weather.gov/GUM.
Okay, Guam, 8:10 a.m. on this Wednesday, January 7th. Let's take one last look at traffic for this morning's program. This traffic report is brought to you by Guam Auto Spot. Schedule test drive today at Guam Auto Spot by calling 478 Auto or view our inventory on our website at guamautospot.com. Guam Auto Spot, 478 Auto. Also brought to you by Mobile Oil Guam. Fuel your drive with Mobile Synergy Supreme Plus fuel for your chance at mobile prepaid gas cards or 75,000 United Mileage Plus miles. Visit mobile stations for more details. All right, Guam, let's have a look at traffic. Hopefully you guys are settled in it. It's the 8 o'clock hour, so hopefully you made it to your destination. Looking at traffic, route for the Hagåtña into Jonia, it's pretty clear, it's looking pretty smooth. When you're making your way Route 10, you only got a few bumper to bumper in front of the Sanitary Caesar Church, heading northbound to that Price Elementary and Back Road intersection. Moving along Route 10, it looks like I advised earlier the traffic advisory. Route 10 still has that road resurfacing. So you want to make sure you plan your route accordingly. But looking at it, all the way from Wendy's to Price Road, it's giving you some backup. So I don't know if they're setting up for today's work, but please plan accordingly. I also want to look at let me take another look. Going into Route 8, the Super Happy Mart. Okay, yeah, both north and southbound lanes got some back delay. Hopefully you guys make it through there. I'm also looking at this one area on Route 8. This is from the road going to the airport, and it's pretty backed up all the way up to the McDonald's and Mighty's. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but you got some back delays in that. Looking on the Route 1, of course, the Airport Road as well as JFK intersections got some delays. In your Dededo area, you have the Machechi, Liguan, and the Route 16 headed into Route 1 got some backed up delays. Going on to Route 3, it's looking pretty clear. Let me just take a look at. Oh, okay, the Count Blanc still got a little bit of delay, but it's clearing up. So hopefully you guys are making your way to whatever your destination. Make it safe. And thank you again for listening. We'll get back to the program. Thank you.
Manana Sizus, welcome back to Mornings with Patti on the Wave 105.1 FM. This is Melissa Savares filling in for Patti this week. And Yuli, you mentioned the traffic and the slow, and a lot of the roadways have been resurfaced.
Yes.
And the Route 10 is really, a very, it used to have potholes in certain areas.
Right.
But they've resurfaced actually all the way, the Chalampago intersection, Route 10 and 4, all the way through Barragata.
Yeah,
Barragata did certain sections as well.
Right,
so, we just, now they're not slowing down because of the traffic or the rough roads, right? They're flying through there. And so we just want to keep in mind, make sure that people drive defensively, follow the speed limit. I was kind of like, mindful about that because I saw, wow, the smooth roads are really so smooth to drive on that people want to drive faster, right? And not just in the central of Guam, but in Inalahan as well. Coming down from Malolo into the village, Inalahan village, that hill.
Yeah,
so they've resurfaced that too, and they're still working from the entrance to public to the fire station and public health. They're still working on that towards the main village of Inalahan. But that strip that used to be a bumpy hill coming up from the bridges from Malolo is now resurfaced. It's very smooth, and now they're going to fly like to the top of the hill. But the roadways are beautiful. I did see, I traveled over the weekend to the southern villages, and I saw that Malesso still had remnants of the flooding from New Year's Eve.
Right.
I mean Christmas Eve. Yeah. But it looked like they had cleaned out the culverts.
Okay.
And hopefully those things stay clear. We don't have heavy rains like we did that Christmas Eve that caused the flooding. But the roadways, DPW, kudos to DPW, yay, because they're really focusing on the resurfacing of these main thoroughfares. And I believe those areas, Route 4 and Route 2, those are all federal highways. So I'm sure it's federal highways funding that's allowing DPW to resurface these roads that were really having issues, and so now the commutes are a lot safer for families to get to and from. But again, just because the road surface is very nice and smooth doesn't mean you're going to go 65 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone, right? But even with the Guam Police Department, over the holidays, I saw a lot of police cars out there roaming the streets, enforcing the laws of speeding, and they were just working out there. And I think what contributes to that also is that we have those new cruisers, that police cruisers that were gifted through a grant to the Guam Police Department. So, congratulations to the police. Guam Police Department also for being aggressively out there, especially during the holiday season, and enforcing some of the traffic laws and the the speed limits throughout the villages, especially the inner village roadways. It's important. So tonight, this afternoon, our island, residents have the opportunity to participate in a workshop at the Guam Museum today, beginning at 4 o'clock. And this is a workshop on the deep sea mining. It's going to be an informational briefing on the pros and cons of deep sea mining in our region and near the National Marianas Trench Monument. So we will have two individuals, of course, Dr. Austin Shelton from the University of Guam will be here, the Sea Grant G3 Safe Sustainability Office at the University of Guam, as well as Dr. Isa Areola Mool that will also be participating. But we have two researchers that will also be joining them during that workshop. One from the department or the University of Hawaii Manoa campus, and University of Manoa, Hawaii Manoa, and also from the Marianas Trench Monument area. So, there will be two researchers that will also be joining during that workshop. So gives the opportunity for us as residents of Guam to understand what this deep sea mining is going to be about and how it would affect our island, our communities throughout the Pacific, our region, in what we do here. They talk about how deep the sea mining is going to be, 1,000 to 3,000 feet deep. But how would it affect? Because where we get our fish is between 100 to 200, maybe 300 feet deep. The fish that we're used to eating here, or fishing is a sport. So how would that affect our sustainability as far as our food sustainability? Would it affect us or not? What kind of minerals, or they're going to be extracting minerals from the deep sea? Are they going to be drilling? Are they going to be suctioning? So these are things that we will learn during this workshop, and then there will be breakout sessions. So please, as much as possible, if you are interested in learning more about this deep sea mining process, attend the workshop today. And they will also assist, representatives will also be assisting in the process of making comments. If you have a comment that you would like to make after you participate in the workshop, they will help you draft the verbiage to help you and give you ideas on what to put in your comments. Actually, you as an individual should put your ideas on paper, or you can. There'll be some laptops available to send these comments in. We were given an extension for the commenting period, and the extension is till it ends. Commenting period ends January 12th here on Guam. So we ask that. If you're interested, and we want you to be interested, because this is, dealing with our sustainability, right? Our food sustainability. And so if, please attend the workshop today at the Guam Museum from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and, get more information so that you can make a comment for this deep sea mining process. Our leaders on Guam and the CNMI have come together in unison to oppose to deep sea mining in our region. So, this is very important. It'll be important for our people. And then, we talked about, the groups that are going to be joining us, conducting that. And so we look forward to, this group will also, the speakers will also be talking to the legislature today and also to the Mayor's Council, as well as, presenting to our other portions of the community to make them understand how important this is for us to make these comments. So far, as per Emily Wood, who was with us yesterday, there are about 700 comments that have already been submitted. And if you go to their website, if you Google that's BOEMCNMI .com, and you click on the RFI, which is request for information, and then you can go to the comment part. This will take you to the website, and then you can find more information, and then when you're ready, if you got enough information that you think you need, then you can click and make a comment through that website. But it's important that our people here are heard, their voices are heard. And when we are afforded this opportunity to make comments, it gives a larger perspective to the recipients or to the planners, that the people are concerned and the people want to be heard through this commenting process. And and I've seen this process happen since 2006, when we've had public hearings and public forums on the military buildup. And a lot of things were taken into consideration during the construction or the planning of roadways, where housing was going to be, where buildings were going to be built. So these what kind of recreational facilities are going to be shared or within the base. So a lot of those comments came into reality as the construction for the buildup continued. We have walking trails outside of the base that benefit both civilians and the military. We have bridges that were repaired and hardened during this process, during the construction process. We have traffic signals, road intersections that were widened as a result of this process. So for the buildup, and it was paid by the military, the federal government, because that was our request for as an island during those commenting periods. The protection of the natural resources on Guam were brought up during the scoping meetings and the commenting periods, and even to upgrade our wastewater treatment plants. I mean, those things were all those things were taken into effect. Into consideration when the planning for the marine buildup was when we had these discussions. So comments from the local community, from the people that live here, because they're going to be affected one way or another, is very important. So deep sea mining, this is definitely going to affect our environment as far as where we get our food resource, but also affecting our recreational abilities for our fishermen to go out on fishing derbies and what kind of fish they're going to be catching. Also, the recreation. We have recreation groups that go out to, the paddlers. How is it going to affect our ocean currents throughout our island during deep sea if this goes through? So, we have a unified letter opposing from both governors, Governor Apatang from the Northern Mariana Islands and from the Commonwealth, and then also by Governor Leon Guerrero and her administration, opposing, and they unified opposing their this deep sea mining. So, if as much as possible, if you can attend, go to the Guam Museum this afternoon at 4:00 to listen to the workshops and take part in learning more about this deep sea mining around in our region. Okay, and so we're at the bottom of the hour. We'll go out for a quick break and then come back after the break. Thank you.
Stay sharp, stay curious, stay connected. Wave 105, the talk of Guam. Glimpses Media.
The talk you want to hear. Wave 105 FM.
Get double the speed at zero extra cost with GTA Fiber. Experience super fast and reliable fiber internet speeds, now starting at 200 Mbps to 1 gig, with upload speeds just as fast as download speeds and 100 times faster than cable internet. You can enjoy lag-free gaming and clear video calls. Fast is also affordable. Sign up for Fiber 200 for only $70 a month. Visit gta.net or call 644-4482. Terms and conditions apply.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Viva Bank Pacific!
Viva!
Member FDIC.
Are you ready? The 2026 Power 98 Step Up Challenge is on, and it's your last chance to register. Attention all high school classes and clubs, you could win thousands of bucks in Guam's longest running video competition. Register now at power98.com. But hurry, registration ends this Sunday. All high school classes and clubs, it's time to step up. Registration is limited, so register now at power98.com. The 2026 Power 98 Step Up Challenge is presented by the Aganga Shopping Center, the Bank of Guam, the Guam Army National Guard, and brought to you by Domino's Guam, Wave 105, Route 99 FM, and the station ready to give you thousands of dollars for your school class or club, Power 98.
Get double the speed at zero extra cost with GTA Fiber. Experience super fast and reliable fiber internet speeds, now starting at 200 Mbps to 1 gig, with upload speeds just as fast as download speeds and 100 times faster than cable internet. You can enjoy lag-free gaming and clear video calls. Fast is also affordable. Sign up for Fiber 200 for only $70 a month. Visit gta.net or call 644-4482. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Mornings with Patti on the Wave 105.1 FM. This is Melissa Savares hosting for this week. And, if you have any calls, any comments or anything that you want to share with the community, you please feel free to give us a call at 671-922-1051 or 1052. We'll be happy to take your call and listen to any of your concerns that you have, regarding any of our topics. And, Attorney Pete Santos called earlier and talked about meeting some friends who have returned to Guam, and you know that they chose to come back after retirement, and have opened businesses. They're working in the government, and that's our goal, is to bring our community back together and our Chamorros back to Guam, and you know, return their services, you know, back here. So we have several students, medical students, that will be coming in later on, but you know, who are also doing outreach. But talking about outreach, we have somebody that wants to promote their outreach at the Inalahan Community Center. Hafaday, John.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, John.
Sorry. Hafaday, my name is John Savares.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Euless. And good morning to everyone.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, first and foremost, we are putting together alongside AMC, well, actually, it's in partnership with AMC.
American Medical Clinic?
Yes, we're putting together a medical outreach in Inalahan.
Okay.
We've actually started this. We started in Derido, went from Derido to Muning to Manilao, and now we're bringing it to the south. And, you know, talking about, you know, our future doctors, Komodo and his
Ethan,
friends.
yes.
And I know I'm super excited to see them come out, and I'll be listening at 9 o'clock when they come in. Because they're going to be joining us for this medical outreach and this medical town hall, and they'll be there at 5. According to what Dr. Akamoto was telling me, they'll be there at 5 o'clock to actually see people, do vitals, work with our patients, or work with the people who want to come down and get seen, or just even talk to somebody in the medical side so they can get some sort of advisement. And I'll tell you, our overarching goal for these medical town halls that we've been putting together is preventative health care.
Right.
And Inarahan is such a crucial part in this preventative health care measure for our island, because they have one of the biggest resources that's so underutilized, and that's
Inalahan Health Center.
That's right. And we want to go down there, and this is why when we decided to go down to the south, Inalahan was the place that we wanted to begin, because Inalahan has the resource. Inalahan has 2 brand new doctors, and the people of the south have access to doctors who are there, and we want to be able to promote that.
Yes.
Because preventative health care is what's going to keep our people out of the hospital system in emergency situations, because we can get them into regular clinics, we can get them into primary care situations, we can get them into preventative programs instead of reactive programs.
Right.
And that's how we alleviate the pressure on our hospital system. And I'll tell you, you growing up, right, you've been such an instrumental part on building these health centers. And we just, since we have the programs built, and we need to start getting people into these programs, because we're seeing more dialysis centers pop up, and it tells me something. It's alarming, because it tells me that more and more people are just going into reactive. We need to get them. We need to start getting people medical care before they end up in dialysis, before they end up on insulin, and before they end up in the hospital. And this is why the health centers, Derido, and Arahan, and hopefully sooner than later we can get Manila back up and running. Because these health centers are a crucial part of our community, and they're there for our community's preventative health, so we can prevent. So we're not dealing with reactive health care.
Right. And, you know, we have the Zo'omtis, you know, that are here for the holidays, spending time with their families, but also making a difference in our community. So, you know, I thank, and, you know, don't forget the Lions Club. The Lions Club is also part of your partnership with the van, you know, Benny Servino's. Access Transport,
right. Club.
Yes.
Those guys are also very much a part of the system.
Yeah. And can you talk to us about what the Lions Club, you know, they have that card that for seniors, right? But not necessarily for seniors, because anybody can use it, where they carry this card in their wallets, in their purse, with all of their medical history. That way you're not guessing, you know, if they need an ambulance or going to the hospital, they already know what medications they're on because the card is in their possession.
That's called the File of Life, and this is an initiative that was started by the Guam Diamond Lions Club. And what this is an emergency contact card. And a couple years ago, my wife and I went to every senior citizen center and got these informational cards out to our Manunku, very vulnerable population who are usually not always with somebody, but on these information cards,
right.
It has what medications you're taking, what the milligrams, all the pertinent questions, what insurance provider, what's your policy number, who's your primary care doctor, what allergies you have. So in case of emergency, just in case, you have something that's on your person, whether it fits right in your wallet, it fits in the same size. It's the same size as your debit card or your license, and you can just put it in your wallet. And our emergency responders it's a bright red card, so when they're going to go through your personal belongings to find out who you are, there's a medical card there that provides all their information. So unfortunately, if somebody has an emergency and they cannot answer these questions, those questions can be answered via this card that's on your person. And it's huge for response. It's huge so we can prevent people from getting the wrong kind of administer the wrong kind of medication or something that they may be allergic to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so the outreach is on Monday, January 12th at 6 o'clock, right?
Yes, that would be our town hall portion, but the medical outreach portion
starts at 5:30
at 5 p.m. with our Zoomti guys.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. And then on a side note, can you message your friend? I'm on her way.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and then we have Mrs. Claus regarding bus system. Buenas and Hoffaday, welcome to the Wave.
Hello, Manana Sidus.
Manana Sidus.
Here's the problem, Melissa.
Yes.
Number one, I'm just wondering, is there a bus system running around by any chance?
Well, they have the mass transit system. Have you tried that?
Is it running?
They are on schedule. They have a schedule that I know that particularly the what area are you from? Because they have a schedule because they have different lines. Like they have the blue line, the gray line, So depending on what area of the village you live or the island you live at.
So it is still operating?
Yes, it is.
Because from what, I've read and heard that buses are down.
Oh, okay.
And I want to get to the bottom of it, number one. Number two, if there is a problem, can we come up with some kind of solution? Those people need to pick up their medication, they need to get to their job, and without that bus, I'm just wondering, what are they going to do?
Okay. GRT.
Can you please come in and explain themselves?
Okay, we'll find out what the situation with Guam Transit is.
Please.
I will give them a call and then find out, and we'll put it on the air, okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you,
God
Mrs.
bless
Claus.
you guys.
God
Bye.
bless you too. Adios. Yeah, we will find out from the Guam Transit what the situation with them is and find out why their buses. But I actually see the transit in Dedido.
Okay.
And the one right in front of the church, between the church and the mayor's office, every at the top of the hour, every 15 minutes after the hour, the bus is always there exactly at that time. Okay. So if, when they ask me, well, what time is the bus coming? I said 8:15, 7:15, 8:15. It's always there at that time. And it never fails. Sometimes I'll look out at 8:10. It's not there yet, but at 8:15, there it is, right?
Okay.
And so, and it happens throughout the day, except for, I think their last run is at 11:15, and then they don't come back until 1:15 because that's where they switch drivers and stuff. And it could be that maybe if they have some down buses, maybe they have, but a different schedule or for the different routes, but. We have the paratransit as well. So depending on what services you need, if you're somebody with special needs and have paratransit, access to paratransit, they have a different schedule because that is by appointment and especially because if they have wheelchairs, right? Or wheelchairs or walkers. But the normal bus route to get to and from on regular for regular riders is usually depending on the area that you live. They have different lines, and the lines are based on colors, and then they have a different schedule. So if they have busing issues as far as down buses, I'm pretty sure that they have delays, but we will contact someone over at the Mass Transit Authority to find out if there's any delay on their routes, and then get that information back to them. Okay, I have a couple of emails. I'll go ahead and send it to them, and then hopefully they'll respond before the end of the show. Okay, and I just got word from the Zoomties that they are on their way up. We'll just, but other than that, there's the opportunities. I'm looking at the advertisements for employers who are who are in need of people to work. We have Cortec, who's looking for a building, like a manager for their rentals, right?
Okay.
Then they're also looking for maintenance, a maintenance worker for their properties.
Okay.
They're looking for plumbers. So construction companies are not just looking for construction trades people. They're also, they also have, like housekeeping for maybe their barracks, right? Or their other operations. But then the stores, if you go to the stores, there's every store that, I've seen, even at the malls, that they have little signs at their doors or their windows saying, "Help wanted, we will train," so you don't have to have the experience in some cases. Another area is, deliveries. If you have a vehicle, a dependable vehicle, some places are looking for delivery individuals, who can who has their own transportation, but maybe deliver the meals on wheels, right? Or delivery of messages, right? The runners. Some companies are just looking for people to go out and deliver. Pizza Hut, and the delivery places are always looking. Yesterday I was in the League One Terrace area, and the delivery person to deliver the senior citizen meals she was stopped at 6 different houses in that one court that I was at. Wow. And she was saying we still need drivers, right? So if you have a dependable vehicle, then that would be something. Another thing that you could do is, stroll. If you have a new car and something fairly new, and you have time during the day or even at night, right? Yeah. Apply to be a stroll driver, where people call stroll, and it's just like Grab and Uber, right?
Yes.
Because when being at the flea market, like on the weekends, I see a lot of vehicles come in and they have that stroll sticker on the side, and they're picking up people from the hotels and homes. That individuals even use stroll to go to doctor's appointments.
Okay.
So I said, because their kids are at work, right? Or they don't have children here. So one woman told me she was actually calling the taxi, right?
Okay.
And I said, "You call the taxi?" She goes, "Yeah, because my kids don't live here." And I said, "Oh, wow, I can be your taxi, on days that you need to get to the appointments." But those are ways, and if you need to volunteer, maybe those are also ways to volunteer. Is to drive a neighbor to their doctor's appointment or to go get their groceries. Okay, I have another announcement that just came through. Calling all Dedido veterans or veterans, retired or veteran service-related veterans. There's a meeting on January 7th. What is today, January 7th? Yeah, today.
January 7th.
Meeting tonight at 6 p.m. at the Dedido Community Center. If you're a veteran and you know a veteran who lives in Dedido, please spread the word to them and encourage them to attend this meeting for veterans at the Dedido Community Center at 6 p.m., which is the center right next to the mayor's office, across the street from the church. So, the Dedido Veterans Organization is, they have a group of veterans who actually have a memorial park. So that park is from after the skate park all the way to the end of Salisbury Street is the Dedido Veterans Memorial Park. And they have they've planted trees there that are like therapeutic trees, indigenous trees to our island, and it's for resting areas, but they plan to put a little more infrastructure there. They want to put a clubhouse on the property so that veterans can gather there, similar to the way that they have veterans gather over at the Vietnam Vets gathering place in Manila. So the Dedido Veterans Organization is actually having their meeting tonight. Today is Wednesday, January 7th, at the Dedido Community Center, which is the Dedido Center next to the church. So if you're a veteran in Dedido, please make plans to go from the deep sea mining workshop to the Dedido Veterans meeting tonight. I think they want to get together so that they can have a stronger organization, so that they can help other veterans, maybe through benefits applications, as well as just getting together and planning for different activities that benefit veterans throughout the village. And so, just talking about jobs and individuals returning home, we have retired people who have been in the military and served their country and then ended up retiring at stateside in different states and making those places their homes, but then realizing that, I want to come back and serve my island. And like Pete had mentioned earlier when he called, that he saw 3 friends that came back and they're now either in small business, they created a business here on Guam, or they're working for the government or private companies. And we at the Community Health Center actually hired a internal medicine doctor who also, retired from the military, got his training in the States, and practiced as physician, and then decided, why am I here after retirement? I should go back home and serve my community. And he, is from the southern island, southern village of Guam, in Alahan. And he said, what more, I want to work in that health facility and provide services to the patients. And so that doctor is internal medicine doctor, Dr. Joel Paulino, is now a full-time physician at the Inalahan Community Health Center. And he also serves one day in the north to see patients there as well. But Dr. Paulino has been very instrumental during outreaches as well. So he also goes out with the mobile clinic that the Guam Community Health Center has, or the Department of Public Health has, and he actually sees patients as they roll out and do outreaches. So, I want to welcome, Dr. Paulino to Guam and thank him for his service to the military, the armed forces, but also thank you for returning back to take care of our people here on Guam, our beautiful island of Guam. And, you know, I'm going to continue to say beautiful island. The last 2 weeks, I've been taking people around the Guam and visiting family, relatives, and they continue to say every day, Guam is beautiful. And, you know, so we live in paradise. We just have to appreciate it and take care of our island and keep it, you know, do our part in making a difference by cleaning our areas and making sure that, our environment is safe for not just us to live in, but also for our children and grandchildren. And then our visitors, because our visitors truly appreciate the beauty of our island, and that's why they keep coming back. That's to include also those that get stationed here. Many military personnel, active duty, they choose to live off base and live in the communities where they can meet the people, their neighbors, and get to know the culture and the way of life in our island. So, people have chosen to come to Guam and to be a part of our island community and a part of our culture. So we thank them for choosing Guam, and we're hoping that these decisions can also be extended to our other islands, our neighboring islands in Saipan, Tinian, and Ruta, because our brothers and sisters in the northern islands also, struggle with, having a fruitful economy, and at the same time, bringing services to Guam. If there's a medical emergency in Saipan, sometimes there's a need to medevac them to Guam for further medical attention needs. But if we all work together, this is a great partnership that we have as island communities, and there's so much to offer here. As far as services, as well as the cultural integration that we have. Many people have chosen from outer islands to also our neighboring islands and outer islands and parts of Asia, especially parts of Asia that have chosen to come to Guam to live here. And whether they own a business, work for the organizations, start nonprofit organizations, work for the government, both federal and local government, they've chosen to be here and be engaged. And being engaged means that you're making a difference in another person's life, right? So, we want to thank everyone who lives here and engages and wants to make a difference, because that's what we are here for, working together. And we are here at the stations to spread that good wealth and news to our listeners, so that we can share what's out there and what services are available and what programs can be used by our different people that live here in Guam. And we're just such a loving and community that we need to we take care of each other. And so we are almost at the top of the hour, and we will have get more information on the mass transit as we prepare during the news. We'll get information from mass transit to see what are the delays in transportation here on Guam for our residents that do use the services of the Guam Regional Transit Authority. So we'll go ahead and take a break for a quick break for the news, and then we'll be right back. Okay.
On the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The Justice Department says the shooter who killed 2 Brown students and an MIT professor planned the attack for months. The DOJ has revealed that Claudio Neves Valente had planned the attack for at least 6 semesters and left video behind. CBS's Anna Schechter.
He reveals that he had been planning the attack for quite some time. He said, quote, I had plenty of opportunities, especially this semester. I had plenty of opportunities, but I always chickened out.
The former Brown student and Portuguese national was found dead in a New Hampshire storage facility. Greenland and Denmark are asking for a speedy meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio as President Trump talks about taking over the self-governed Danish territory.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt released a statement saying President Trump has made it well known that acquiring Greenland is a national security priority of the United States, adding military action is an option. Tom Hoem is the former minister of Greenland for the Danish government.
There's absolutely no reason for this situation. No reason.
He added buying Greenland isn't an option either.
We are not for sale.
Trump recently hinted he'll make a decision on Greenland in about 2 months. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Prior to the capture of Nicolas Maduro, the CIA was commissioned to produce an assessment modeling potential political leadership scenarios in Venezuela should Maduro cease to be president. CBS's Olivia Gazas reports.
We don't know exactly when the assessment was commissioned, but we do know that it was briefed to the president and his closest advisors as he was weighing whether to authorize this Operation Absolute Resolve.
A group of lawmakers and the families of fallen Capitol Hill police officers gathered to mark 5 years since the deadly January 6th U.S. Capitol attack. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Holding candles, a group of Democrats gathered on the steps of Capitol Hill where rioters attacked lawmakers 5 years ago.
We must never forget.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer was at his desk that day when
thousands of rioters, egged on by Donald Trump, stormed the U.S. Capitol.
Schumer blasted the president for pardoning the rioters. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
A year after wildfires devastated areas of Los Angeles, the new fire chief spoke today about some of the lessons learned and some of the changes that will be made. Jaime Moore was not chief at the time of the Palisades and Lockman fires.
There were clearly significant shortcomings in our response as a department. And as the newly appointed fire chief, the responsibility for how this department prepares, deploys, and adapts for the future rests with me.
A record day on Wall Street for the Dow and S&P 500. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
A new study finds U.S.-born babies have a higher rate of infant mortality compared to non-U.S.-born children.
Researchers in Ontario looked at millions of births from 2016 to 2022.
Immigrant mothers had lower rates of infant death than non-immigrant mothers. And this difference was really highest in babies that were born full term.
Julia Maraca of McMaster University says those sudden unexpected infant death rates are often associated with unsafe sleep practices, exposure to smoking, or a lack of breastfeeding.
We don't know that any of these specific things are the reason why we're seeing the differences in immigrant versus non-immigrant term babies. But this is the place where we should start looking.
Cammie McCormick, CBS News.
Flu surges across the U.S. as doctor visits reach the highest level since 1997. New data from the CDC show there have been at least 11 million flu cases as of December 27th and 5,000 deaths. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
KGUM-FM, Dedido, the talk of Guam. This is Wave 105.1 FM, a Glimpses Media radio station. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show. KGUM-FM, Dedido, the talk of Guam. This is Wave 105.1 FM, a Glimpses Media radio station.
Feeling good, getting things done. Wave 105 FM.
All right, Guam, good morning. 905. Thank you guys for tuning in to KGUM-FM, Barragata, Guam, the Wave 105.1 FM. This is Mornings with Patti with our guest host, Miss Melissa Savares. We want to thank our beautiful sponsors, Pat's Tinting and Detailing. Call 647-SLAM, the Medical City where patients are partners. Code 1 Law Enforcement Store. Take Care Insurance Company, Our Island, Your Health Plan. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots. Visit bankpacific.com today. GTA, we start with you, and Hyatt Regency Guam. Don't forget our Wave Studio line is 671-922-1051-1052. Call us today with your comments, opinions, concerns. Hit us up. We also have our WhatsApp line, 671-922-1051. You can catch us streaming online at thewave105.com or on YouTube, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. All right, Guam, thank you again. We'll be tuning in back to Mornings with Patti, hosted by Melissa Savares.
Welcome back to Mornings with Patti on the Wave 105.1 FM. I'm Melissa Savares, filling in for a few more days, so I'm excited to be here, but I'm more excited because we have our Chalanamti students here in studio today. And, you know, these group of students, medical students, have been making a difference throughout our island whenever they're here on Guam. And, you know, we always hear medical students going out, Guam students going out for medical school and, you know, to become these professionals that are going to take care of the health of our people. And then they can't come back because they have student loans that need to get paid, right? And it's just a lot. And so to live and then pay your student loans at the same time kind of gets costly. So what they pay you in the States, you know, can allow you to do both things, right? But now we have programs that allow you to come back to Guam and be able to work here, and we'll be the one to worry about your student loans, right? Because you're giving back to the community. So can I go ahead and have you guys introduce yourselves? And we'll start with you, Kai, since you love to talk.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Hopefully everyone, my name's Kai. Kai Akimoto. I'm a fourth-year medical student, currently at the University of Minnesota. But I was originally born and raised on Guam, attended Father Duenas for high school, and went to the States for college and finishing up medical school now. And like Mayor just said, very passionate about returning home as a physician, and was very fortunate enough to share this passion with almost every other medical student who leaves the island. And so we're just trying to find a way to pave that path back home for everybody to come back and do it. But this guy right here, who will introduce himself, is kind of the main, pioneer of all this. He's been making a lot happen, and this is actually his first time on Guam. So we're really lucky to have this gentleman here. But I'll pass it over to Ryan to introduce himself.
I appreciate you, brother. Aloha, everybody, and Afade. My name is Ryan Benavente. I'm very, privileged and grateful to be here. I was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii, but I have Chamorro ancestry, and I can trace my roots back to Guam and Saipan as a member of the Benaventes. But yeah, very happy to be here. I currently go to medical school at Harvard Medical School, where I'm hoping to pursue a career in general surgery. So me and Kai and Ed, in a couple months, will be hopefully opening up a letter with our destinations for the next 3 to 7 years. So looking forward to that. Yeah.
Okay, and Ed, we'll go ahead.
Hafa everyone. My name is Ed Biala. I was born and raised on the island of Guam as well, like Kai. Went to JFK for high school, Biba Islanders. And I'm currently a fourth-year med student at the John A. Burns School of Medicine at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Very much excited to be sharing the sort of what we have in terms of moves that we've been working on as a group. And the gentleman over here to my right, I had the esteemed privilege to meet them in my journey in medicine, and I'm very much looking forward to what the future of medicine looks like, not just for Guam, but for the entirety of the Pacific, knowing that we have these connections that we've forged along the way.
Well, I'm just so excited. I know that I've, continued to, as part of the Guam Community Health Centers, and something that we work with, dearly, is the National Health Service Corps. And, when we get students who need to, are part of the National Health Service Corps, we can have you come to an underserved area, and Guam is considered underserved, to work in our facilities and have your student loan forgiven, right? For every year that you work in as a National Health Service Corps student or a provider, 1/4 of your student loan is forgiven. And we've had providers come in the past, but they're not from here. They were part of the National Health Service. They were National Health Service Corps recipients, but after their 4 years, they split because they say they get island fever. But I said, the island doesn't cause fever, right? You should know that, right? And I think it's because the distance to the U.S. mainland and seeing their families. Like I said, they're not from here. But when you come back, and you come back through any program, there's several provider clinics here or entities that accept that are registered with the National Health Service Corps. So medical students are more than welcome, provided we have the need for it, right? And of course, Guam definitely has the need, right?
It's amazing work that the Community Health Center, as a federally qualified health center, was
Right.
able to kind of register and take advantage of that program. Because, I didn't mention this earlier, but I'm a National Service Corps Scholars recipient
Yes.
as well. And so, part of the whole reason why I was willing to take that scholarship was to, I had an interest in primary care and I had an interest in coming back to Guam.
Yes.
And fortunately, Guam was one of those health profession shortage areas.
Yeah.
And I kind of knew from the get-go I was wanting to pursue a career in primary care. And I think that also serves as sort of a limitation for some of the other folks who are leaving Guam to pursue medical school, in that this National Service Corps scholarship is only applicable to a select specialties. Granted, these are specialties that are in high demand, but
they're
just
needed.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that includes primary care, internal medicine, family medicine, obstetrics, gynecology,
Right.
psychiatry. Also want to shout out that it's not even just limited to physicians, but it's also applicable to, I think, nurses,
yeah.
clinical psychologists,
Right.
physical therapists. So a number of ways that different health professions can get involved. But I think we often, through our mentorship for students, get confronted with that question of, how do you finance medical school? And while there's I think a very upfront kind of there's a very upfront concern about being able to take out loans and being able to survive for the time being. There's a long life of kind of debt servicing that comes with that if you aren't judicious. So
Right.
we provide that advising as much as we can about how to be judicious about taking out the loans, but then also what other options are available with the National Service Corps, but there's also because of the military service
Yes,
as well that
right,
many people
yeah.
take advantage of. So all of these things are kind of within the mentorship that we try to provide for students. But I think it would be really cool if Ryan could kind of describe a little bit more about about the entire organization, if that's
Yeah.
all right. I think for many viewers, this might be the first time they're hearing about
Okay.
Chalanamti.
It's and I mean, are you one of the founders, Ryan?
Yes, it was,
yes.
Through very gracious through Kai and Megan,
Yeah.
who's our other co-founder,
Right,
who
right.
wasn't here today. We founded this organization as an opportunity to give back to the Pacific. We recognize that, if you look at the data, there's some severe health disparities that occur in the Pacific. And, we don't even have to look at numbers because we all have an auntie or an uncle, a brother or sister
Right.
who at some point, either wasn't able to get care or was dissuaded from getting care or, unfortunately had a bad outcome. I can, name several, at the top of my head. And, our thoughts and our prayers, go out to them as always.
Right.
But, as, young people who, have the opportunity to take advantage of education, we felt, really emboldened and inspired to really find what is at the root of this problem. And one thing that we identified is, there just isn't a sustainable pathway for providers to stay on island
Right.
and continue to see people and see cases. And so we developed this pre-med pipeline and training program. And, what we offer is, for all people in Guam and in Micronesia and Saipan, and we're starting to, broaden our reach to some of the other outer islands. If you have an interest in healthcare, if you are committed to any sort of, pipeline or training program within the space, we want to be at your side, and what we offer is, mentorship, guidance, and sometimes, this long kind of journey, is over 20 years, right,
Yes.
of undergrad and medical school and residency, and we're kind of there as people who've braved that pipeline ourselves. We're there to help guide you and kind of help you navigate the pitfalls that come with that. And there are many hidden ones, and there are many very, in-your-face type of ones, but that's kind of like how we exist. And, we work in the high schools, we work at the college level, we work at the medical student level, and even up to the residency level. Because, at the end of the day, what really matters to us is that, our families get the care that they deserve, that our communities that we care about, get the care that they deserve. that everyone can have the right and access to a prosperous future. And we believe that by doing this work, by getting more people interested in medicine, getting more people invested, helping people with their financing, helping people advocate for themselves and their future careers, we can help create a reality where that's possible. What do you think about that, Ed?
Yeah, I think the work that we do is definitely important. For the most part, I feel like a lot of us folks have navigated this pathway, kind of going off of the success stories we've heard from other folks. There never was this collaborative network that we have today with Chalanamti, and so, to be able to see how much, not just our organization, but our impact has grown. There was a time where it was a rarity to see someone from UOG go and pursue a pathway and a career in medicine. You face a lot of doubt, a lot of it which came from each individual's self. I faced that too along the way. But to be able to see what we can do now to make that difference, and to be able to empower the students, individuals to pursue this career, and let them know that it's doable, it's something that we can actually accomplish, really sets the pathway moving forward for the future generation to be able to do so without facing the same challenges and obstacles that we did on this journey.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes a group of people to say, hey, man, I went through this, and it was a struggle, and my family went through it because we're struggling to make sure that I succeed, right? And so just talking among yourselves, and then realizing that, what, we can help, right? I remember, going through a cancer diagnosis 30 some years ago, and we didn't know anybody to talk to before we were medevaced, right? Yeah. And stuff. But then when we got to Hawaii, we found out, wow, there's other Chamorros there. Yeah. And so we got together and said, when we go back home, we're going to be advocates, And so that's exactly what you're doing. And you're saying, hey, we're from the islands. Let's get together. Let's kind of make this a little bit less stressful, right? Yeah. If we all got together and just put something, maybe talk, right? And that's the dialogue, right?
And I think that's kind of speaks to, this kind of a natural quality that we find from kids who grew up on Guam, grew up in the islands, that there is a propensity to help one another. That's more profound than I think you typically see in other communities. For example, Brian and I, we were like strangers before I approached him about, being passionate about healthcare in the Pacific. Expand that onto Ed. I had known Ed in passing before, but every single person that is a part of this organization, we're now at 22 medical students, 15 residents, and over 60 members collectively, who I think never once ever had any hesitation. As soon as we kind of described what we're trying to do, automatically everyone was bought in, because this is something that everybody was passionate about. And particularly the residents and the medical students have so many responsibilities in their
just being in class and doing your projects and and where do you have time to do this?
Well, for the things you care about, you make time.
Right.
That's true.
And I think we've seen more and more people join the effort, and we've been able to spread out the demand across 60 members, and so we've been very fortunate to meet all these passionate people. But like I'm saying, I think it's a natural quality to the kids from the islands, from Micronesia, that they want to give back to their community. And so this is a quality I think that is admissions committees at medical schools are looking for. And so once I found out, once I recognized that, I was like, we need to kind of bridge the gap for these students. And I think that's what really motivates a lot of us, is that they have the intrinsic qualities, now just about making the path clearer. So I really encourage anyone who is thinking about medical school who is from Micronesia, from Guam. We absolutely need it. And we can tell you now that you likely have the story and the experiences and the work ethic. It's just now about kind of navigating that hidden curriculum.
Hidden curriculum, absolutely.
Yeah, and I know that sometimes it's not just you coming out. you also need the tools and the equipment, right?
Absolutely.
And so, you know, an example is Dr. Uggan, PJ Uggan. He's a
gastroenterologist.
yes, and he needed this equipment to do his work here successfully and the right way, right? And so what happened is the governor said to GMH, buy the equipment, or somebody told somebody to buy the equipment, and they got the equipment in. So he's able to help patients so they don't have to go off island, right? And do that. And I'm pretty sure even with, whether it be family practice, internal medicine, surgery, you know, as a surgeon, you need the tools, the right tools to make you do to allow you to do your job. And so sometimes that has been the challenge in the past. But we have providers who start their own clinic and make sure that they have the stuff in there, right? You know, make sure that, well, if I'm going to practice this and I'm going to take care of my patients this way, I'm going to make sure that my clinic has it. And, you know, it takes a lot to do that, right? Because you have to go out and get a loan, make sure that the equipment is there, make sure you have the right people in place, right?
You know all about this with your experience working with the
Sorry,
community.
Yes.
can we? Because we have a YouTuber, DA Kimoto 2488. He said, "Can you please talk into the mic?" So, yeah, so
okay.
please don't
Test
be afraid.
1, 2.
You guys,
Test
you
1,
guys are
2.
good. You just need to speak into that mic.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that.
All right. Yeah. So, you know, move your chair closer to him. Yeah, we know you work together closely. So get closer. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So you know that's key to, you know, you're going to come with your skills and all your knowledge and your trade, right? But are we going to have the equipment? And I'm pretty sure that because you've already established this the Tsalan Amti, and that you know what you need to do your job successfully to treat patients, right? And the equipment, the scanning needs, and things that you need.
Well, I want Ryan to comment on
Yeah.
this. Ryan and Ed to comment on this, but I'll just say quickly that, like, you know, we're still learning, of course, what the specialty needs, and I think this is a kind of a moving target too as the different disciplines develop. But I know that when the time comes to make a decision about where we're going to practice, and that's usually at the end of training,
right,
that decision is made. That is often a limitation. It's like, what are the places that readily have the equipment that I was trained to use available, or have the systems or the resources that I was trained to use available? And with the conversations we've had with folks, it seems like that was a limiting factor in terms of making the decision to come home.
Where to go, right?
Or practice specifically here on Guam. And so what has motivated our involvement is that, you know, we see this as sort of addressing that barrier, and it takes time to kind of to make these things or to address these obstacles. And so we're wanting to be a part of the effort to address those now, while we're earlier in our training, so that by the time we make that decision, it is less of a obstruction. It's less of a challenge to say, yeah, I'm going to go back to Guam because they have the resources that I was trained to use. But I mean, Ryan has been doing a lot of the work to kind of. He's our director of operations.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You know, I think like it's such a. It can seem very frustrating at first because, you know, when you take the 1,000-foot view of everything, it seems like, okay, well, you know, there's a personnel deficiency, there's an equipment deficiency, there's a lack of, you know, ancillary staff, there might not be as advanced imaging modalities. And I think that, you know, all of that seems like unpeaceable and unsolvable. But at least from like where we're concerned, you know, and you know, the three of us plus the 22 other medical students and, you know, the 60 members of our org, you know, I think one thing that, you know, we strive to do, and one of our strengths is that, you know, we all come in with different perspectives and diversity of thought to each tackle a little small piece of that problem. And I think it's going to take time, and I think it's going to take a lot of effort. But, we have a couple research initiatives that, we are trying to launch off the ground right now to kind of really investigate what's the root cause of these. We're trying to create partnerships with, a lot of the local community leaders as well as the hospitals to see like where we can put our foot in, whether that's, either discovery or, finding innovative ways to kind of get around some of these barriers. And so, there's a lot, that more than we can, talk about in this interview. But I think the future is, rather optimistic. And but I will say, I will stress, I guess sort of the urgency, right? And everything is urgent when it involves kind of the life, wellness, and finances, of people here. Yeah.
Okay, Ed, you want to add to that?
No, I think what Ryan
he said it all.
He said it all.
Yeah. I'm just so Ryan. I mean, this is your first time on Guam.
Yes.
You were born and raised in Hawaii,
Yeah.
and you have roots in Saipan.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you plan to come back? Even make an attempt to go to Saipan? Do you still have family in Saipan?
Still have family in Saipan.
Yeah. So family usually goes to visit you because you haven't been there to visit them, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I went to I did a similar, let's call it like sojourn in Saipan in April. So I spent some time out there, worked in their hospital system, got to experience that.
The CHC, right.
And one of the reasons and I think Ed can also speak to this, but one of the reasons I chose a career in general surgery is because, you bring your skill set with you. And I think what I envision for myself later down the line is, I consider myself not necessarily, like homegrown Hawaiian, homegrown Guam, homegrown Saipan, but I consider myself a member of the broader Pacific. And what I envision for myself as a career is, as a surgeon, whatever I specialize in, I want to be able to travel between all the islands. And I think, given the limited number of providers, and given, how, much the need is, I think, that is something in a career that, I can envision for myself, right? Going between island and island, serving the communities over there and, doing surgery as needed. But haven't decided where my home base is going to be.
Yeah.
Very, very open to that, where I'm going to raise my family.
Cool. And I'm when you said that and traveling from island to island, I'm looking at the Mercy ship. We've seen that they've actually been here where they went out to the outer islands and actually did surgeries and treated people for chronic diseases, right? And so those things are important, right? And then coming back, I mean, Kai, you were born and raised here, and so was Ed. You were born, raised, and both of you went to school here, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a community, and I'm seeing that it's this younger generation versus in the past. The older guys, that are graduated in the 70s and the 80s, chose to stay in the States, right? And with a few to come back, right? After they actually did their practice, their internship and residencies over there. And that's important,
It is. Well, I'll comment that it's a lot has changed. I think in terms of healthcare on Guam, healthcare medical training in general, and certainly like the agility that technology has allowed us. I mean, like we're completely virtual. Like this might be the first time that Ryan's going to meet like a lot of the members that we have. So all of our mentorship exists virtually. A lot of us have never met each other in person, but we have that shared passion that connects us. And if it wasn't for Zoom,
you know what? Thank God for COVID.
I guess so.
We did everything in Zoom and Teams, right?
It was a fortunate byproduct, but nevertheless, we were able to virtually connect and have, I guess, more material outcomes that are now. I guess like we're bearing the fruits of that initial labor, but back I guess during that time it must have been extremely isolating to be in a state you've never been before and to be suffering the very intensive training and the demands of training at that time. So and with all that too, I think that there's kind of this constant evolution of medicine that is generating new specialties, new innovations, and that element of practice is also, I think, desirable to a lot of the people who leave Island and pursue a career in academic medicine. But I mean, even at that, like there's now an avenue to kind of have an academic career, like abroad, so to speak, and like represent an institution and while being kind of in different spaces. So
I think, to speak to that,
Yeah.
I think, well, one thing that's like very beautiful, and I think you put it so eloquently, Kai, is that, Pacific Islanders have a tendency to make community wherever they go.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? They bring the food, they
Yeah.
bring the culture, they bring, the
That's
dances.
part of our social, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And, although our members are very, like, spread out and, what unites us is, that similar mission to, at the end of the day, return, right? I went out to Michigan the other day and I saw, former UOG grad Darlene Ferrer, and then right after flew out to UCSF and was able to see, Brittany Sasson, right? So, it's cool because, you don't meet these people, but, they welcome you in their homes when you're in the area, and, what drives people together and why I think this is a lasting kind of initiative is, that passion can't really be bought, right? It's instilled, right?
Yeah. And you like you said, you guys are like magnets, right? I mean, no, really. Look, Islanders, no matter what island you're from, you kind of like, just get together because hey, where are you from? An island. Okay, I mean the Samoans are the same thing.
Yes,
The
exactly.
Hawaiians,
Hawaiians
right?
too, yeah.
And then that's where you find out. Oh, let's go over there because it's all you can eat for $4.99, right? And as students, you take every advantage of that, right?
Yeah.
So and that's how they migrate to each other, right? But you're right. Social. I mean, you can tell they're Islanders because when they get together, there's food and drinks and music, right? But at the same time, we're trying to get down to business and let's get together and do what we're supposed to do to begin with, right? After all the partying and stuff,
I
but
think all these guys work incredibly hard
Yeah.
within our group, and I think it's kind of another intrinsic characteristic of kids coming out of the Pacific is really disciplined work ethic and is a lot of respect for the people that you're working with and the people that you're working for. And so that makes you really desirable to the different programs and organizations out in the States. So I think it's not hard to believe that our predecessors, the people whose shoulders we stand on top of, like they worked extremely hard and really demonstrated capacity and competency that was desirable to the organizations that they were in front of. And so and like you said, they bring community wherever they are, so they're probably a joy to have around too. So with all that said, there's also, I guess, challenges that in resources that may have served as a limitation to folks in the past as well. So there's a number of reasons why someone might not be able to return to Guam as a physician, despite there being a clear need. We are trying to study those to the greatest degree possible, so that we can create the most informed interventions. And one of the interventions that we're really pouring all of our effort into right now is providing that mentorship up front, and also providing a touch point for current trainees to be able to interface with Guam, build somewhat of these kind of like professional roots through our clinical shadowing programs, through research, through policy and advocacy. Because I think like once you kind of have these professional roots, you're starting to envision a career like, wow, this is where I've been spending a lot of time and thought, like maybe this is where I should, or I'm starting to know how I can start here, because everyone was passionate at first, but it's now, what are the steps that I need to address and I can work on addressing now to make that a reality. So
so you have your stepping stones on what you need to do, and so you have all your bullet points. Okay, to check mark all these things, and there's things that you still haven't check marked.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, and we can. We're working on those things now in this point of our training whenever we can, and I think it's been kind of difficult to shoulder on our own, but luckily we've had so many more people again who've accepted the call to help us out, and so.
And I know most of you have come home. I know, Kai, you came home because your grandmother had passed away, but you were here for the holidays as well. And, Ed, you were here for the holidays with your family as well, right?
Yes.
And Ryan, you're here because they told you had to be on call. Have you connected with relatives?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Currently living with my auntie and uncle.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so doing a rotation out at GRMC in
Yeah.
the emergency department.
Nice.
To understand that.
And that's what I wanted. My next question was, I mean, you're here not because you're just visiting family, but while you're here, and Kai, I see this with you and Ed, is that while you're here, you're also engaging in the facilities, whether it be GRMC or American Medical or the community health centers. You're engaged in the discussions, in the procedures that are in just the dialogue that you attended our public hearing for autonomy, because it's important how we operate and so you're not just hanging out or going surfing or going around the island. You do that, but at the same time, you're still engaging with healthcare systems, right?
We definitely do all those other things though too.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good to maybe Kai talk a little bit about a couple of events going on this week, and
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mayor, you were talking about kind of the challenges that a practice may be confronting in terms of sourcing, I guess, the correct materials and I guess also hiring staff. And this is something that is, I think, really illustrated within the community health center. I mean, this is the, I guess, default. It's sort of, I guess, the safety net primary care clinic for our entire community, especially the uninsured and the underinsured and the public benefits beneficiaries. And so what we see is that this is a essential place of healthcare delivery on island for the folks who probably need it the most. And so having this autonomy would provide them the organizational latitude to be able to more quickly and expediently hire and procure services so that they can increase their operations. And I think there's been a lot of trepidation about to what degree a community health center would actually achieve that or pursue that level of expanded service if granted autonomy. And I can say that in working with Mayor Savares and Mrs. Shermalyn Pineda, the new CEO, it has undoubtedly been evident that they are this entire group is committed to working as many hours as it takes and working as hard as it takes to achieve the sufficient level of care delivery as possible. And this is even going so far as to get together on a Sunday morning to do a community outreach directly in the community, meeting them where they're at. I mean, could very easily have said, hey, we're going to do things in business hours within our clinic, and that's that. But no, this is a group that is committed to going beyond their comfort zone. And we are so fortunate to be invited as partners to help them with this community health outreach. I think it's a blessing for us to be able to gain that clinical exposure. It's a really great opportunity for any aspiring pre-med students who are looking to build their experiences to be able to kind of have that community involvement. And also just, I think it's really fulfilling to be able to be working with the community that you grew up in and that you're wanting to come home to return to. So with all that said, we have this event coming up on Sunday. It'll be held at the Palawan Cultural Center in Lada, in Dario.
Yes.
And it'll be from 10 a.m. to
1
p.m. Right. And there we'll be doing a lot of these kind of your standard health screening things, like checking your blood pressure, checking your blood sugar. But what I've often seen, and I've done many of these types of events, is that someone's blood sugar will be kind of really concerning.
Elevated, yeah.
And there's,
And they have no primary care.
yeah, it's like you should really get that checked by a doctor. And these people are like, what did I come here for?
Yeah.
And so at this event, we're also providing consultation on, if they don't have health insurance, if they have not worked with the community health center in the past, we will have patient registration representatives there to help them get plugged in.
Right.
If they don't have healthcare coverage and for whatever reason they don't want to go to the community health center, and if they're eligible for Medicaid, there'll be eligibility specialists there to also consult them on how to avail of those benefits. We're also going to have some like nutritionists and dietitians there
Right.
to kind of discuss healthy eating habits, and which is, you know, at this point in the holidays, people are, I think, are
New Year's
Yeah.
resolution.
yes, exactly.
We've been talking about that, you know, that's healthy choices,
Yeah,
right?
and I think all the more reason too is like the reason why this is a particularly good time is that, like right here, January after the holidays, folks are maybe haven't been entirely adherent to their sugar limitations or to their fluid restrictions, and so these are kind of exacerbations waiting to happen, and so these things end up on the footsteps of the emergency room and kind of congest the hospital system that is already overworked and already under-resourced, and can, I guess, further exacerbate both their clinical and their financial challenges that they're experiencing. So that's what this event is trying to get at, but I'm really excited about it, as you can tell, so I don't want to talk too much more about it.
And then, is that you're not limited to just that outreach. I know that you're the American Medical, together with the Inalahan Community Health Center, and the Lions Club, the Diamond Lions Club, is also doing an outreach on Monday.
Yeah.
And I understand that your team will also be
I
there.
think that's a town hall. I think there's a lot of discussion needed to be had and community input.
Right.
And we are intending to be there not just because it's a beautiful village to visit and we want to show Ryan, but it's also
the pool too. After.
Yeah, we're gonna go swim.
Saltwater pool. Yeah.
But we're gonna. It's an important conversation for us to hear from the
southern residents.
Absolutely.
Right?
And so we're really excited for that as well, and I think it will foster a future outreach. And my goal is that these outreaches become obsolete, that we have a community health center that is functioning and adapted well enough to be a consistent solution for the people that its mission is to serve.
Right. Yeah, and if people take for granted. I mean, I know an individual who had who was working for a medical insurance company, but he never went to the doctor because he was too busy, right? Yeah. And we get, like you said, we get wrapped up in all our stuff that we're doing that we forget. Hey, we got to take care of ourselves before we can take care of people, right? And so I want to thank all of you. Thank you guys, because I mean, you continue when you're here, continue to reach out and do work. I hope you're getting credit for that.
Well, we get to come on to the show with Mayor Savares, so I think that's plenty of credit for us. So.
Eating good food.
That's
a very big reward.
Yeah, so you've been, and I know, Kai, I met your grandma the other day. She said you're taking care of Grandpa, and that's why you weren't with them that day. So, so you also do take care of your families,
Of course.
So it's important. Your work is important because, what you do you continue to be advocates, really, and then hopefully we get all of you to come back to Guam. I mean, we work closely with, there are also community health centers in the CNMI. Mm-hmm. They have two Kauffman health centers, and then they have one in Tinian as well. So, working with the community health centers, we have, unfortunately, you have to be an employee or a member of the community health centers to go to national. But I know somebody had done a presentation a while ago.
Well, one of our members was actually worked directly with the chief medical officer for federally qualified health center in Skid Row. This is Joshua Sublime. He's the co-director of our policy and advocacy division, and he's extremely well versed and I think functionally knowledgeable about the community health center performance, and he's kind of formulating for us a internal quality improvement initiative to work with Mrs. Shermelin and the rest of the CHC team to, again, address the needs that the community, that the patient population is facing, so that we can, again, develop interventions that will optimize the services.
Yeah.
So really blessed to have the team that we do, and more so blessed to have such willing partners to be able to invite us and welcome us into this work, because this is really what we're passionate about, and I think it's going to bring us home.
I know that will you guys be at the Community Health Center tomorrow morning?
Oh, that's me and Ethan.
You and
yes,
Ethan, yeah.
yes. Because we need more mentorship from you
well,
to learn more. Yeah.
I got to be listening to you guys more.
Not at all.
Because but it's a partnership, right? I'm a believer in not doing things by yourself, because you can do more with the resources and the partners that you have to serve the people that our communities. And really, I want to thank you all for coming out. Welcome to Guam.
Thank you so much,
Ryan. So has Ed cooked for you at his house yet?
Yeah, he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So where's the barbecue tonight?
We're marinating the meat right now.
Okay. You're gonna hang out at the beach this afternoon. It's kind of
actually
rainy,
on
but
Sunday we're planning on getting to the beach.
after the outreach.
After the outreach, after we clean up and all that. So
headed right to the emergency room after this. Get my feet wet.
Oh, okay. You're gonna.
There's some work to do.
Some work to do.
At the ER.
Yeah.
Okay.
And have some interviews too in the morning.
Couple interviews,
It's a busy time.
So busy time.
Great. And that's great, because then you're you're a part of that. How much longer before you graduate? Yeah.
Oh, for all of us, I think it's around 6 months, but we find out in 2 months where we match.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wonder where we're at, but we'll have jobs soon.
I know. Yes.
And you
My
had
dad
an
will be,
interview, right? You had
glad for
interviews
that.
this morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a couple more throughout the week.
To go. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. If you need us to pull some ears. This is Guam, right? It's who you know.
Yeah.
But we have friends out there, and not that we're gonna, especially because you have to have the credentials, right? It's not the pari system.
We go so far.
That's just because he's my friend's son or my friend's daughter, right?
No, you got to study hard. You
got to study. Yeah, you got to
do
really
your diligence, so that, that everyone here is also highly attuned to that necessity too.
Yeah. No. At GRMC they have homegrown Dr. Is it
Dr.
Manaloto.
Edison, right?
Yep. Incredible guy. Guy.
So he's actually working at the GRMC.
Yeah, he's the chief medical officer.
Yes, but he's now we hired him part-time for the community.
Oh, right.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So his contract was signed, and he'll be doing some part-time work for us at the health center.
That's
also.
awesome.
So he's it's something that we look forward to. I mean, if you can't come to us full time, we'll take you part time.
Yeah, he's been an incredible role model to us, and
really?
just a shining example. Of,
so he came out of he also went to public school. So he I don't know if he graduated from JFK or Simon Center. Yeah.
My auntie was his 8th grade teacher.
Oh wow. At middle school?
Middle school.
That's so cool. So you see the connections, right?
Yeah, of course.
I went to a funeral. It was his uncle, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And he says, because we remember him as an elementary student, right?
Yeah.
And his mom's an assistant principal. And he says, "I'm over at GRMC." Oh my God! Our kids are back in here and taking
I'm
care
glad
of
you were
us.
able to get him signed on. I can only imagine how long that might have took. I know Dr. Edison is incredibly capable and willing. So I'm wondering, how was the process?
Well, I always say it takes so long to hire through GovGuam, right? So the process, I tell people, it takes longer to hire you than it does to fire you. But you made it. It's just the process, and that's why we're really, looking towards, focusing on going towards autonomy, because makes things, we can get our supplies quicker.
Yep.
We would still follow the procurement law, but we don't have to go through all these, and then we still have to go through contracts and stuff, but that's how we're paying everybody anyways. All the staff get paid through our program income, and the more program income, and if we have the supplies and the providers, our program income goes up, and we can be flexible on what we pay you, right? So that's the flexibility that we would have as a autonomy.
So there's a future where the community health center is fully financially solvent and independent and able to kind of
Yeah,
manage
for,
its
for many
finances in
years
its own
we had
way.
zero allotment from the government. So, you know, we have our federal grants, of course. We have a service area grant
Right.
that's for 3 years. We have a behavioral health grant through HRSA for 3 years as well. So it's just a renewal. As long as we're doing the right thing and reporting the right way, we'll continue to be supported with that. But program income is our main income for, you know, our main finance. That's how we pay our providers and our staff. And that's how we operate, you know. So going autonomy is a great thing because we can get things faster. We've been sitting almost $300,000 of requisitions that for over a year that needed to get processed for medication and supplies. You know, so that's not good. We want this to get in there so we can see patients. So when they come in, we have the supplies and we have the medication that we need to provide, right?
Right.
So going autonomy is critical for the success of the health centers.
Wow, well, thank you for that work.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not easy, and it must be frustrating at times. So we
It's
really,
frustrating,
really
yeah.
are blessed to have such a persistent advocate on the board there, and we're really appreciating your work.
Thank you. But you know, good luck to all of you.
Yeah.
Good luck for your interviews. I hope they're
you.
successful. And you know, I can't do anything unless you have the credentials and the
Of
skills.
course.
You know, I can just wait and say, please. You know.
If I may put in one
Yeah.
plug,
Yeah.
you know, if anyone out here listening, or you have family members interested in medicine, we will mentor and we will take them on for free, and we will do our best to get them through the process. The process is rigorous, it's challenging, but I think togetherness and collaboration, I think it's a big theme of our discussion today.
Yes.
We're happy to just go on our website, chalanamti.com.
Chalanamti.org.
Chalanamti.org. We're official. 501(c) nonprofit.
Wow.
But go to our website, go to our Instagram, and reach out to us, and we'll connect you with a team of advisors, who will help you, through the tests, through the financing, through the applications and the interviews, through all of that. We'll be there by your side. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much
you, ma'am.
for coming out and, of course, spending time with your families. Make sure you spend time with your families, right?
Of course.
Because, they're the backbone, right? And making sure they've always been there with you. And God bless you for all that you do. The community is here to support you. And, just do what you need to do to come back home. Dr. Bob, who's our medical director, is getting older, so he needs to retire.
So you gotta train faster.
And we said, we're interviewing these young people so that they can take over your job. And one day he wants to retire. So.
Well, he's earned it, and Dr. Bob's an incredible mentor. But as you're saying, I think he's done his time, and he deserves retirement.
Yeah. So a lot of our providers, so that's why we welcome, our people to come back here, right? Ed, isn't your sister in medicine too?
Yeah, she's a nurse. So
okay.
I'm very just fortunate to have, again, met everyone I have in Chalanamti, and I think the future of healthcare in Guam looks very bright. And I'm excited to see the next steps and sort of how it's going to look like in the next few years.
Yeah. Cool. A lot of work to do, though, so
Yeah.
we're looking for partners. So looking forward to partnering with people. Thank you so much for the time.
All right.
Thank you so much.
And
Appreciate
God bless. Have a safe trip back to wherever you're going to go, right? Minnesota, right? And Hawaii.
Yes.
And, it's a long flight, just,
Yeah.
Okay, so God bless you for all of you do, and everybody at Chalanamti.
Mahalo. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Yuli, for being on the other side and supporting us here. Sorry we didn't take that bottom of the hour break, but
That's okay.
this is usually that time, so you can go ahead and hit the
All right.
advertisements, and
Yes.
and we'll see you all tomorrow, right? Okay, thank you.
From breaking news to bright ideas, Wave 105 is where Guam speaks. Your island, your conversations, your station, Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media.
Make your holidays brighter with mobile. Fuel up and win amazing prizes. Every $30 fuel purchase earns you electronic entries for 75,000 United Mileage Plus miles or a $1,000 mobile prepaid gas card. Want even more cheer? Fill up with Mobile Synergy Supreme Plus fuel and get 6 entries for every $30 purchase. Celebrate the season, fuel up with Synergy Supreme Plus, and let mobile make your holidays brighter. See mobile stations for details.
Are you ready? The 2026 Power 98 Step Up Challenge is on, and it's your last chance to register. Attention all high school classes and clubs, you could win thousands of bucks in Guam's longest running video competition. Register now at power98.com. But hurry, registration ends this Sunday. All high school classes and clubs, it's time to step up. Registration is limited, so register now at power98.com. The 2026 Power 98 Step Up Challenge is presented by the Aganga Shopping Center,